Were y'all using together?
Yeah.
Oh, the same substance you was putting in your body.
I guess she got the bad bag, I guess. I don't know. So that's how it happened. They could be doing the same thing. They could be more in hers than mine.
So, what else are you doing out here besides drugs? Any hobbies?
Just sitting around.
Okay, I understand. Do you get scared at night at all?
Yeah.
Oh, it's rough out here.
Yeah, I do. I try not to stay by myself. I mean, I know these people aren't friends, but they're associates.
Yeah.
I don't call them friends.
Somewhat like a community, but they'll still steal from you, take your belongings.
Yep, they don't care.
Yeah, everybody says that. It's like common.
They're not your friends. They're just, as I would say, Kensington friends.
So what's the craziest thing you've seen out here in Kensington?
Honestly, people just ODing on the streets and people rob them before they dial 911. Stick it in their pockets, taking their money, their phones, and just walking away. And they're dead sitting on the ground. Nobody dials 911.
Does it?
There's nothing.
And that could have possibly been somebody they were communicating with, and one of their associates.
It's supposedly their friend. They think they're their friends. They're not friends.
Yeah.
Within a second, they'll take everything from you.
Are you religious at all?
Yes, I'm Muslim.
Muslim. Okay. What type of vibe do you get from this community, this area, this neighborhood?
All these people are just backstabbing people. Like, I don't think anything really give a shit about each other. And they should, because they're all in the same position. But one person would take the same person at the same position, which is ridiculous. They should be helping each other instead of turning their backs. But it's the way it is. It doesn't change, but it's not doing.
Wait, how old are you, Star?
36.
36, okay. And how old is your daughter, if you don't mind me asking? 18? Gotta get home. She might need your help. College, I don't know what she's trying to pursue, but
She's trying to.
What's going on? Okay.
They don't listen. They all come back. They'll leave for 10 minutes and
Okay. Guess that goes for us too. Get myself blocked. Imagine this in your life. Be anybody. It could be your brother, sister, mother, daughter, father, cousin, uncle, niece, nephew. You get deep. Get deep in these streets. Now, Star, do you want to get clean? When do you want to get clean? When's the right time for you? You know the resources? You know where to go? You need some help? You need help, right? I'm gonna get you in touch with a social worker out here. I know. You gave me the other day. I'm gonna put you in direct contact with them. Star, where do you see yourself in the next 6 months?
Hopefully clean with my daughter. Living with her.
Once you get clean, how do you see yourself staying clean?
Staying away from the accident. Living in the bed. Surround myself.
No, that's right, Star. Gotta get that out of here. What kind of hobbies were you indulging in before the drugs?
Basically being around my daughter. Being a mom goes.
Where were you going to school to be?
A nurse's assistant.
Okay. In nursing field. I can see you getting back to it.
I will. I fell off somehow. I don't know how that happened, but it did.
You know, we all fall down, but it's all about getting back up, you know? Don't worry about it, Star. You got it in you. I can see the potential. I'd like to thank you for your time, Star.
You're welcome.
Been a wonderful interviewee for me once again. And All Time Media be praying for you.
Join All Time Media's Patreon for exclusive content and behind the scenes. Come up with another word than shocked.
surprised by design. Now, we have a Thursday show. It's like the show of all shows. It's very exciting. It's about the Mandela effect. We had a show on about this before. We're going to really dive deep this time. And certain things having to do with the Mandela effect are shocking. So what is the Mandela effect? The Mandela effect is where we, as a collective, as a society, as individuals, have one thought, but it turns out that things are just the other way. And this is part of the shocking design of the universe right now. Although it can actually be perpetuated by individuals as well, which we talk about on Thursday. So specifically, when we're talking about shock, if you've ever heard the Queen, the song We Are the Champions, and you imagine the last line, We are the champions, we are the champions, we'll keep on fighting, because we are the champions of the world. I just wiggled on that last bit. Of the world. Guess what? We're going to all go to Google. Of the world isn't in the song. It doesn't exist. The ending now goes, We are the champions. The line is erased from the song, from the concerts, from the videos, from everywhere but our memory. And if you don't find that shocking, it's just plain craziness. There are so many things. We'll talk more about that on Thursday. Here's my kid jailbreak, so I'm going to take him back to his area right now. Hold on, it's too early for him to go to bed. What a shocking start. Shocking start. All that's happening, all that you see in the news, all that has to do with weather, all that has to do with climate change. We won't even go there tonight. All of this is by design.
Goddamn, I like that one. Who said that? Let's look it up.
It's a world trying to wake us up. It's a world that is what we came to this earth for. You and I chose to come to this school. We chose to come here to earth during this time so that we could wake up. Not so that we could sit on the couch, not that we could stay asleep, but so that we could wake up. We came to a shock school. A school we're shocked and shocked and shocked until we go, I get it. I'm waking up. I'm truly waking up. So the question is why? And what does it look like to wake up? And I hear my Alexa turn on. Alexa, pause. What does it mean to wake up? It means to disengage the autopilot, to stop walking around like zombies, which is something I mentioned last week. It's to live life fully alive and present. Present to the fire, present to the rooster, present to the baby, present to everything that's going on, but at a higher level. This is the level of the mystic. This is the level of the ascendant master, which is who and what you are on the other side of the veil. You're here to help change the earth. Now, if this place is a holographic universe, if it's not real, which is true, this place is not real, but if it's a holographic universe, or worse, if this place is a simulation, something we're going to go into tonight, but I've yet to do a whole program. If this place is a simulation, why does it need changing? Because of this reason. If you've ever gone to a movie, you go to a movie, you know a movie is a movie, and you don't realize when you go into it, this is just a movie and it's not real life, but you still don't wish ill will on the hero. You don't typically root for the hero, he or she, to fall or for them to fail. Why? Because in the movie you suspend disbelief and they are us and we are them. Let me repeat that. When you go into the movie, you suspend disbelief and they are us and we are them. That's exactly what we're doing here right now. We're in a giant movie where we are all going on this journey. We are all going on this path. We are all on the hero journey together. And you can say, but this world doesn't matter. Absolutely matters. Because this school, this first school, is completely. You can take this school as a sponge and you can wring it out. All this beautiful energy will come out of it. And we are here to play with this energy. We didn't come here to sleepwalk through this world. We came here to build, to explore, to learn, to grow, to ascend, and to wake up and fully participate in this journey we call life. We call our arc, and we call the arc the journey of all of humanity. And that's in a sense why we're being shot. But 1995, you also get this, that, and the other thing. It goes far beyond that. A lot of teachers talk about it. A lot of guys talk about it. This is what I call a channel or Sunlight channel talk. I go into my automatic writing this morning, before a YouTube live event, and I talk to the angels and guides, and I say, what am I going to be teaching tonight? What am I going to be talking about? What am I going to be sharing? And then the words just flow and flow and flow. And what they say, and what other angels and guides say, and what so many great teachers say, is this is a historic moment in the Earth School, a historic moment.
Perhaps it proved to tell about soul age.
Not just in the Earth School, but in the universe. So at this particular time, there are 8 billion souls here. It's interesting. Our YouTube, our Twitter page is Inspire 7 billion. We also have Inspire.
Engineered winter weather mayhem is somehow proof of global cooling. A truly baseless conclusion as the planet hurls toward total meltdown. An easily verifiable reality that's only temporarily and toxically masked by the exact engineered winter weather warfare already described. How much climate engineering, aka solar radiation management, particulate filth, is in our air? This new headline is an indication. The mystery of Earth's uniform shine might at last have a solution. That headline is from the Matrix media source, sciencealert.com. So, what is the mystery of Earth's uniform shine as seen from space? Could the fact that the Earth's atmosphere is now saturated with light-scattering climate engineering, solar radiation management particles, a literal planetary cocoon of toxic atmospheric particles, be core to the uniform planetary so-called shine? You decide. And here's the so-called solution that sciencealert.com proposes. Quote, as global warming continues, geoengineered solutions, aka like engineered winter weather, will become vital for human life to carry on alongside it. As if climate engineering hasn't been raging in our skies for decades, being used as a weather weapon with already catastrophic results. And all those that are helping to cover the tracks of the climate engineers should be, must be, considered criminal accomplices to the climate engineering atrocities. On that note, as already mentioned, another headline, California at risk of life-threatening flooding from new atmospheric river. That's from this week. As the moisture patch storm moves inland over the Golden State, it will carry warm air into high elevations, which might lead to rapid snowmelt and create a dangerous flooding situation. Yes, exactly as described. Why do they use the word could? If you put warm rain on top of chemically nucleated frozen material, it's going to melt and run off. Of course there's going to be flooding. And we have the so-called science community constantly using their could, may, might words for certainties. It's like saying, if you're in a car going 100 miles an hour and you're 10 feet from impact, you could, may, might crash. How absurd is that? If you jump off a 100-story building, you could, may, might splatter on the sidewalk. We live in a asylum. Next, California, buried by snow, now faces a flood threat from a different kind of storm. Again, I want to show various.
However, losses that doesn't mean losses in the sense that you die forever. We're eternal. But losses in the sense of a loss of opportunity to ascend, to evolve, to grow. And that's what makes this holiday beautiful. Is the potentiality for growth, potentiality for us to become something at a much higher level. So, humanity is firmly fully committed. We'll answer in the question or will it be out of love? Will it be the painful fortune one with more casualties that is done out of fear? Or will it be coming from a higher level? And that's where you come. And you are very just by watching too many other things, just by watching it's someone who lives above shame, gives up the story. It's the person who is fully awake and aware of what's going on. And that's where the shock comes in. So you look at it. Shock into you're being shocked into hero. Shock into self-discovery. Shock into not just becoming a caterpillar. stable place. Well, we had Hanabear, and we had Hanabear health insurance, and that kept us living for 7 years. And now that we get that behind us, we get to settle down. Guess what? We want to go on the housing crisis. Here we are. It's all part of the opportunity. All of the challenges, and I don't like to dwell on the challenges, all of the challenges, all of the difficulties, all of the pains in your life, and I know you've had a lot, because there's not a single person right now who's getting by through and having it easy. Nobody's going, oh, life is just so easy right now. Now, life may be fantastic right now. That's different. That's why I say, how do you get it better than this? Life is not getting through without challenge. That's what makes you strong. That's what makes you grow. That's what helps you step into your true power. And your true power is energy.
More than likely
You've got it going on in spades.
No, where will they speak?
I was channeling this morning for this, and there is kind of a special guest channel who likes to come through, and that's Archangel Sandalphon. Archangel Sandalphon is the angel who's known first. He was Elijah until he ascended. He was the prophet Elijah, and he passed on, he ascended, and then became an archangel, only one of two, along with Metatron, that were in human form first. And Sandalphon loves to come in when I'm doing my channeling for class. So I'll read you a little bit about Sandalphon, and then we get back into the main people. It's all about the energy that you feel, the energy that you feel, and the energy that you exist.
Now, just for the record,
the energy that reminds you of who and what you truly are.
Jesus Christ, of course.
Why Sandalphon?
The one and only.
Because the world is designed.
And he is the only one they hate.
To zap your
along with his disciples.
So to keep you
so I'm invincible until he's done.
That's
why I don't fear him.
To keep you bound and out of control, out of
now please don't let the name
the reason
of Jesus
that Sandalphon showed up as Archangel or as Prophet Elijah
atheist,
was to help wake people up over 2,000 years ago. That's why.
Christian atheists are the most pathetic bunch in the eyes of this nation. The one that rules them all.
We're much more aware. We're much more ready and prepared. We are more ready and prepared to face up. We definitely feel that than ever before. It's a different time, it's a different period. And by design, humanity gets to wake up now if we're gonna make it through. Interesting. Interesting is not the right term.
Reaches its foundations.
I have a dear friend, Carrie Clanton. Carrie passed away, took her own life, 20 years ago,
most of its members.
21 years ago, just about this.
75% 80. And
great job, great dog, great health, beautiful, amazing, I guess boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, just a very, very special, sweet, courageous, glowing human being.
Now that they've been pretty much full
who got
control,
focused on the
and
negative,
their members
focused on
are
what was
every
wrong with
place
them, focused on what wouldn't work out, focused on the problem, focused on the fear, focused on the fact that she felt she was broken, and then focused on the fact that she felt she was
every day of your life. And for the mind
she checked out. She took her own life and checked out. And I love you, Carrie. Now, in a sense, it's almost a part of what humanity is going through right now. We're playing the game of drinking. We're playing the game of taking it to the world. We're believing ourselves and our love ourselves and becoming negative. That's what's going on right now. In a sleepwalking state, humanity is taking herself to the edge because she keeps dwelling on the negative and dwelling on it and dwelling on it and dwelling on it and dwelling on it. Now, the universe wants humanity to make it through. It doesn't want humanity dwelling on these negative thoughts. Look at the news, look at the movies, look at the anything, and you'll see what I mean. It's a doom-scroller paradise gone mad. And so, now, the reverse is true as well. There is this energy of humanity that wants to keep us down, that wants to keep us under control, that wants to keep us sleepwalking. You can actually see this. If you see a political bombshell of a story where you go, oh my God, X, Y, or Z is going to happen to X, Y, or Z, and that means we're all going to be free. The war is going to end. This person's going to be in office. This person's going to be out of office. This is going to take place. This wonderful thing is going to happen. Anything of that. And then all of a sudden there'll be the craziest story about a scandal. Typically it's a scandal. About a scandal. About a clothing failure. About a, who knows what. That will suddenly completely take you off track. That's actually a shock. I call that an anti-shock. To keep you alive, to keep you from waking up, to keep you from, dare I say it, free thinking. If you are given the fight, focus on, I go back to Janet Jackson decades ago now in a clothing failure. If you're supposed to focus on that, or if you're supposed to focus on any crazy story. I know nothing about what's going on in the White House. I don't pretend to know what's going on in politics. But if I see a story about cocaine in the White House, hello. I say, oh wow, somebody's diverting attention. I don't know if it's the good guy. I don't know if it's the bad guy. We're all one. I don't know who it is. But these diversions are to distract us and keep us from waking up. Silly stories like that are meant to keep us from waking up and keep us back in a sleepwalking state. What we want, instead of all that, the anti-shot. What we want to do is recognize these shots, recognize these experiences, recognize, oh my God, the New York City was shrouded in clouds where people couldn't see, or smoke where people couldn't see. It's happening in the Midwest, and it's, oh my, I feel for everybody in Canada. It's happening in Canada. Europe is basically on fire. Other parts of the world are struggling. Other parts of the world are flooding. These are all by design. Jessica would say that we call this a collective NDE, a collective near-death experience. They're designed to stop you from becoming a battery. What does that mean?
Just confess that she's a member of a secret society.
We will battery, we will Duracell. That's what we are when we're sleepwalking. We're batteries for corporations, we're batteries for political power, people who are in power. We're batteries for those who have the most money. We're batteries for women. We ain't gonna go there tonight. For whatever it means for you today. Evil is simply that which is disconnected or lost from the light. The boomers are real. Vacuums are real. We are giving away our energy, folks. This drains your life force, it drains your energy, that drains your ability to shift your life, and to shift all of humanity. It keeps the energy down, it keeps humanity from waking up. Why? Because those who aren't in the light, it's too scary for them to be in the light. They're holding on to power for all it's worth, thinking that's going to give them eternal life, because they're so scared of what could be on the other side. And so they draw all this energy out of us with all these anti-shots. We have a shot, they have an anti-shot. We have a shot, we have an anti-shot. Because the universe is going rise above it, rise above it, rise above the noise. Up to this big, bad, beautiful shaft. Well, the very fact that you're watching this means you are waking up. And the shocks of the world have gotten to you. We get to stay awake and step forward. That's where things like the School of Mystics, our School of Mystics, 4 Wednesdays a month, is to help you wake up at an even higher level. We're diving into your automatic writing, helping you to hear from the other side and wake up at a higher level. Or do whatever it takes to keep waking up more and more and more. For it's not simple enough, or it's not as, that's the best way to put it. It's not simply enough to be awake and aware at this time. Look at children, and this is kind of, it's heartbreaking. There's so many awake and aware, sensitive kids who check out early. They may have been violated because they felt they don't fit in. They're right. The world is broken. The shot is to wake up. But if you already come in fully awake, then you're lost. Unless that goes older. We're all young and infinite sleep. And wake up too, and then you can stay in the way and let them know they're not alone. You see, the idea of being awake and aware isn't about becoming more learned. It isn't about becoming too sensitive. It isn't about becoming a spirit heading around the whole world. It's about becoming a wayfarer, one who shines the light for all before them, just by being you.
The religion, connection,
You get to crank up that inner light. Yes, you get to crank up that heart light. Do you remember E.T. and Heartlight? Well, guess what? What do you remember? What did E.T. do?
This is where the frequency shines.
Guess what? You Google it. E.T.
Are ignorant and stupid.
What? It's not E.T. Home. Yeah, it is. No. Yeah, it is. There's also, what is it? Life was like a box of chocolate? That doesn't make sense. No, life is like, these things are here to shock you. They're here to wake you up. They're here for you to say, oh my God, this world is not real. This world is a holodeck. This world is a school. This world is supposed to be our oyster, a higher level oyster, an oyster of beauty, but it's being hijacked, it's being kidnapped, it's being taken away from it, and I'm not going to take it anymore. And no, you don't go grab the force, you go grab the love. You shift your energy, you turn it up, and then you step forward. It's about taking action, finding it out, and making a difference out of love. And that comes first in shifting your energy, that comes in living differently. And then that comes in helping others to live differently as well. That's what we get to do. This shot isn't just a wake-up call for you. It's not just a wake-up call for me. It's a wake-up call for all of humanity. I don't know about you, but the number I keep getting more than any other number. Okay, okay, the number that comes across almost as much of that, the 2222. Heck, I returned to rental truck today. I put in 2222 in gas, and then I think I arrived at 222. On and on it goes. Smart matter decision, and for stepping forward. So we take the energy of the shock, we let it transform us, we let it help us step forward. And then hand in hand, arm in arm, we step forward into our power, shifting all of humanity. Our highest good and the highest good of all, or something even better. Are we in a shift? Absolutely. Are we in a shock? Absolutely. Is this here to serve us? Absolutely. Did something great come out of it? Absolutely.
Today's video will be a little bit different. We're not looking at meltdown. Maybe we are, but that'll be my different story. We'll be taking a look at a YouTuber that was aggravating assault two soldiers inside of the embassy, and then he got himself arrested. The reason why this video is different is that usually I provide commentary because I don't own
if you learn different techniques, every single
but in this case, this footage was provided to me by one of my subscribers. So I won't be putting any commentary throughout the videos.
That's why I just do every third Wednesday for our student of the group, and it makes
this will be this video in this fashion as slightly time.
I would do emotion code, everybody emotion code about it. I would do our school of theories about it.
Before we get into that, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.
Isn't just once and done?
That out of the way, let's get right
layer after layer. But you can do this. You can clear it. And understand for everyone here, your wounds and your blocks, they're not here to your wounds and blocks aren't here to harm you on your path, to slow you on your path. They're actually really accelerators, sort of like taking a bread in Back to the Future and throwing it in a locomotive and it goes faster and faster. The wounds and blocks are actually energy building up to serve us. It helps to get that energy moving again. But understand, even while we're blocked, that energy is building up. That is your guidance on its own. So really, if you take one thing away, so it's for everyone. Take all of your design as a shock. What's the first amendment? Most players are building up connected groups of energy that are just a quick question. But I have a more important Melvin Rowell, do I think we're doing that because I'm not too familiar with the master. I definitely get my right again. There was a new thought thinker, oh my god, who just so much of it was amazing right now. I need to read more of it. So I cannot give you a very good answer to start with a computer yes. And I apologize for that. Stardust Plainer. Ma'am, do you work here? Did you know that there's exceptions to the rule? No. I'm not trying to question it. There's exceptions to the rule. We're managing exceptions. We don't have to discuss our date and what I do. And that's where the parallel starts and ends, because you don't have to believe in anyone or anything to make it true. However, okay, so can you recite the first amendment? That any one person, if they don't shift, they're going to ask what we're doing. If you swear to freedom of the press, that's why I'm asking you to karmic way, because you're a military person. This guy too. Do you know the First Amendment, sir? So they learn things. It's a choice. It's one of the hardest things to understand. It is a choice to come to research school. I never would have chosen this. Actually, yeah, we did choose this right now for our highest good and the highest good all. The biggest thing is, though, the more that we help you and I to shift, and everybody around us to shift, that's because you're a public servant. The expression go, rising water, rising tides raise all ships. Stardust, the more that we rise up, the more that we help everyone. You're in a government building, you're in a public place, funded by tax dollars. We're able to hit that tipping point where humanity is around the world completely changes. So, inside job raising our vibration up, and then seeing what we can do with everyone around us, which means we get to be an ambassador of goodness, an ambassador of greatness, Stardust, an ambassador that goes out and brings this shiny, amazing energy wherever it looks like to you. Now, I've noticed, I've been going.
No, we're actually trying to find out if you.
When he speaks of Freeman,
Stardust
unless you're
I'm the one that
speaking
took it.
And you don't understand it.
never
You
reveal
don't understand. Yes, I have taken that same oath.
Shame on you.
You're in Republic.
Then being in public is not the place you want to be, man. Okay, that's because, sir, we have the right to video record here. We're not trying to create a disturbance. All right, you swore to protect our rights. How is it that the military personnel is the first one to complain about our freedoms here in America?
These are the penalties they
No, listen, we never put it on your face. We're recording. Look, ma'am. No, actually, you're nonsense because you swore to protect our constitutionally protect. No, you're not. You're trying to get me to waive them.
The most meaningful things to
Take off that uniform. Do you know what?
Oath to the Constitution, not to your command. That's the biggest problem with the military right now, is that they'll follow orders over the Constitution.
blindfolded at every initiation because he symbolizes
Can y'all
someone
take
who
this
lives in
outside?
underdog.
We're just having a conversation.
But y'all stopping us from doing our work, so
How?
we cannot. Because we are
Specifically.
So, brilliant timing to miss out. If my energy is low, will I miss out on the show?
So we can't call
We're all going on this ride together. The question is, will we get through it? Easy way or the hard
Well,
way?
ma'am,
This isn't a fear
do you know what about
It's
first?
simply a let's
Do you know
raise
about the
our
First
internal
Amendment? No.
They know actual.
Oh, you don't care? Well, you're gonna care tomorrow because you know
You're
what?
not out of alignment as much as you
You work for us. You work for us, ma'am.
And we get to
You work
focus
for
on
us.
that.
Oh yeah? Who funds your salary? Who pays your salary? You pay taxes with our tax money. Great job. They get our tax money and then they split it and then they put a little bit back and they want to say that
drink product, drink drinks, water that bring your vibration up. Do as best you can activities that bring your vibration up. Now, this is a physical world where we get to
illegal
talk
wars
with
too.
others and realize that there's certain things that we get to do rather than things that we like to do. But even there, go to a place of gratitude.
But you're complaining about our freedoms.
Look for what is positive in the experience or the output, and that too will help raise your vibration. But now, this is not a karmic repercussion.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, look at you, bro. You should be proud. I bet you people want pictures with you sometimes. Don't they?
The more we learn, the more we grow, the more we learn, the more the energy of everybody. So, Miss Patty, I support you. And I'm guessing there are people on the side.
Well, you shouldn't have joined in the first place. You shouldn't have joined in the first place because you know what? Freedom of the press is part of the First Amendment. It includes a camera.
Brilliant question. How do we tell our
Press
families
is
who are
usually
religious
with
that
a
don't believe in
camera,
this?
sir. We're not disorderly. We're not breaking the law. We're not being
If we do, we tell them ever so gently. Why? Your actions are how much you shift, how much you continue to shift, how much you are growing, how much you continue to grow. That is what shapes.
That's because you're talking to us.
That gets people asking, what are they doing? When families are
We would have.
when loved ones are there is very little we can do, or really should do,
Very good.
other than love them
Glad that you
with
understand.
everything
Thank you.
they've got, with everything you've got.
Freedom
That's
of
your
the press,
job.
man. Just remember,
Unconditional.
we're not trying to
Total and complete unconditional. love.
Alright, so
They'll
now
get
we
it
have enough
when they get it,
context
and
to
that's
know what
okay
happened
because
before
everybody
the
is on
officers
their own
showed
journey.
up.
However,
So
by
let's
living
switch
by
to the
example and
podcast.
leading by example, they're more likely to come along for the ride. And this isn't a binary game. That's where it gets interesting. It's not a game of zeros and ones. It's a game where percentage matters.
Hold on.
Because what we're talking about is frequency.
I'm trying to figure out what's
What we're
going on,
talking about
sir.
is
So if you want to
raising
hold on a
humanity.
second, then I'll talk to you. Yes, ma'am.
Up. Until humanity shifts up here. Guess what? There's an infinite number of steps. I've really got to work on making this short.
And they're trying to convince my customers to
And
take
that can be
off
broken down into scales, and that can be broken down, that can be broken down. There's an infinite number of steps, but guess what?
We explained to her
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I will talk to you.
Changing the song
What would you like me to do?
harmony for all of humanity.
Would you like them trespassed?
Shift is one tiny
Let me get Mr. Love on the phone. I'll get him on the but we do want to.
from
You can't just solicit and
anonymous. How do we find our
Public area, so you
public area. You just broke your policy, okay? You can't do that. So
have to have
I need you to step outside.
ask.
Yes.
Ask for meditation. Ask for
I want to talk to y'all outside, away from all of these people, so we can.
But do not ask out of...
I need y'all to step outside with me.
I prefer not to ask out of desperation.
Why did you solicit a trespass? That's my question.
And let it alone to see what chases you down. Now, one of the challenges we have with finding our life purpose is
Solicit a trespass. You just solicited a
I
trespass.
asked her what she wanted.
No, you can't say you brought up trespass. You can't use that line.
heavier
We're in a
serious
public place.
question
We've
you
done
need to
nothing wrong. We have
I've got to know my one thing. I've got to know my one thing. I've got to
This
know
is
my
a
one
public
thing.
property, and I can trespass you
We're
from
conducting
it.
a crime trespass.
And if you look at the world around us now,
I understand how to do my job very well. Thank you very
even
much.
back
I need y'all to step outside.
there was this thing called Big Blue, IBM.
X-ray
And you go
453,
work
start me
with
another
Big Blue,
35
or the
or two,
Big Blue of the
please.
day. Then in Fort Collins, Colorado, was Hewlett Packard. You go work for each year. You go work for IBM, and you're set for life.
I'm gonna wait for more officers to show up, and then we'll escort you out of the building.
To another career. So
I can
it's
have
about
one come.
finding that goal, about following the purpose and now.
X-ray 453, can you also start me a supervisor, please?
So there isn't one purpose.
Did you request did you solicit a trespass?
I didn't solicit
Yes, you
anything.
did. You said, would you like to have them trespass? You can't do that, sir. We don't
They would like them trespassed, and they're refusing to
Put it out
take
there,
me
and
up.
then let go. And love exactly where you're at. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's our
Please don't touch me.
Our truest purpose is to enjoy the holiday, to enjoy the ride, enjoy the secret position,
I'm giving you
I've done nothing
lawful orders.
Okay, but I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong.
Put your phone down.
I've had acts, sir. I've done nothing.
Put your phone
Am I going to jail?
Put your phone down.
My camera's down.
I did a meditation recently and heard that word. I'm not familiar with this term. Would love to hear your thoughts if in line with me.
Right now, you're resisting.
We did a beautiful talk where Palladians came up, or a beautiful interview with Palladians came up. I believe both my most recent interview with
How old are you?
Territory and one before that.
How old are you?
Palladians, as I understand
That's
them,
fine,
are
and I'll
one
put him in
of
handcuffs too.
many,
Sir,
Starseeds?
what have I done?
One of...
Am I going to jail?
Have a seat in my car.
This is the limited knowledge that I have of this. And
Have a
it's
seat.
quite limited.
Put your foot in the car.
There are an infinite numbers of peoples in this galaxy, let alone in the entire universe.
Put your
There's
phone
some
down
that
and
are
put your
more
hands behind your back.
interested in helping humanity than others.
Put your phone down
Arcturians are
and
two of
put
the
your
ones
hands
that
behind
are
your back.
very active in helping humanity. However, we're all
Y'all are causing
Starseed
a scene
children,
for
and
no
I truly
reason.
believe that we are not all human. We are a certain percentage of human, and that's based on our genome, that's based on our energy,
And
that's
they
based
can
on
still
our history.
request to have you trespass.
And we could be part Palladian, we could be part Arcturian, we could be part of so many other different beings as well. But at the end of the day, it's sort of like a skin color.
Take a seat on
and
the
yes,
ground.
there's a history and there's a story and there's a lot that we can learn from it.
Take a seat.
But at the end of the day,
On
we're
your
here.
butt and cross your
We
feet.
just are. And so, for myself personally, though I've heard many different things, I've channeled many different things, I'm much more concerned that, okay, I'm here. I've got this great history behind me that I can call on my ancestors and elders, which is actually pretty cool. But what do I want to do now with where I'm at? And even if I'm 100% UFO this or that, I'm here on Earth. I got a job to do. What's my job? Shine with everything I've got. What else is my job? Help others to shine. It's actually all of our jobs, each in our unique way, no matter where we come from. So it's a brilliant question to address, and it's lots and lots of love. Nikki, I have a question in regards to what you do. Krishnamurti said, when we talked about the stream of sorrow, I want to know why stream of sorrow exists. I can't speak to Krishnamurti's stream of sorrow. What I can say is that humanity's tears are transformative, humanity's tears are healing, humanity's tears are cathartic, and humanity's tears are getting out the toxins that are within. What are the toxins within humanity? Well, we haven't exactly been kind to each other. We haven't exactly been kind to the world. We haven't even... I lived in this beautiful home with the Atlantic out my back door. Actually, out the front door is across the street and one home away is the beach and the Atlantic. How does it get any better than this? Behind the home, I'm on kind of an island off of St. Augustine.
what's going on. I'm gonna
It's an island and it's not really an island. It's got a main highway running through it.
I just need your information.
Technically, it's the Sandy Island.
You're the manager of this branch. Just explain to me, because I couldn't get a story because they're trying to talk over, and so
what happened is they came in, and you can't stop
the Atlantic
someone
Intercoastal,
from
which goes from Maine to Miami,
or
but it's also called the Matanzas River.
But
What
they're
does the Matanzas
talking about
River
their
mean?
right not to wear a
It
mask while they're
means
trying to get
massacre.
customers when they
It
were
means the
starting to
massacre
take their
river, the
mask
river
off
of great
because of
massacre.
rebellion.
That is the history of this town. That is the history of this country. That is the history, the known history
They
of
go
this
outside, they
version
need
of
something
humanity.
served.
And many versions of humanity are
Outside of
called
their
humanity has
sitting on
created
their
certain
right to
versus
keep inside
growth.
that mask to
What
the
does
health
that mean?
conditions that they don't have to totally disclose. That they don't have a right to make a mask. And I tell you, this is the mayor's order, not our orders. We all have to follow
hey,
it.
Cesar, can you put him in your car, please? And he's sitting right there. Put him in the back seat of your car, please. So they were causing a disturbance within the building, and you would like them trespass from all branches.
Maybe at some point, but I get to do even bigger mass clearance. We all get to clear the wounds of all of humanity in order for humanity to settle.
I'm gonna have a supervisor, my supervisor, or me and this officer have the same supervisor. Someone's coming out, a sergeant at least, and there's probably going to be a good chance that at least the 2 adults are probably going to go to jail for resisting, because I gave them lawful orders to exit the building and they refused to. I gave them lawful orders to comply with me and they didn't. So at the very least, we have resisting without violence. But due to it being under the executive order, we have to have supervisors respond anyways. So right now we're just going to detain all of them until we
I've known a lot of
can
people who've had similar
kind of get
experiences.
somewhere.
And you don't need a near-death experience to have an awakening,
I'm hoping my sergeant
that may wake you up. And the best way that I can describe it after such an experience is for a certain period of time you're living in Kumbaya. Life is good, life is great, woohoo! And then you come back down to earth. It's a WTF moment. You literally,
where would you be if
the
I
best
needed
way
to
to
run back
describe it
around? Because
is
right now when I talk to them,
integration is a bitch. When you wake up, integration is a bitch. Why?
So you'll be like right here in the center?
Makes sense. Not a thing. Look around you. Everything is great. If you've had an awakening experience, and I know so many people have this, and I love you guys, I love you guys, I love you guys. If you've had an awakening experience,
yeah, that's fine.
then you can't
Thank you very much. I
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate you guys.
You
Thank
need
you.
really to understand.
Muting
What are
for
they
officer
doing?
compensation.
What is going on? What are they, whoever they is, thinking? None of it makes sense.
Well, this
And
kid
so,
has been videotaping me in my face and has been communicating with that one, so he's with them. The reason why he's being detained is I told him several times to step back out of I told the kid to step back from me while I'm doing my job. It's an officer safety issue. If I'm trying to put someone in handcuffs and he's up in my face, it's either me put him back or tell him to go back, and he refused to do neither, so I put him in handcuffs to be detained. Yes, ma'am. They're all being detained for officer safety reasons.
We were set up in a world of pure craziness. We were set up in a world that, frankly, this is an insane asylum. And almost all of us, all of us, if we're honest, are acting insane according to the rules of this insane asylum. Heck, we weren't. We come to a completely different agreement and stop and shift this world in a way. That's actually what you're doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what all of us are doing.
So,
But we're doing
unfortunately,
in a
with it
kinder,
being a
gentler
public
fashion,
business, they
rather
are allowed to record
than grinding
inside
everything to a halt. But it's coming
a
close
city of
to that
Jacksonville
right
/
now.
Duval County business.
2023, we look at
We can't
2023 in hindsight,
we can't
and this will have been the whole
like tell them they can't do that. The problem that was presented is that they were.
are getting increasingly difficult.
This all comes
I
down
believe I
from
know
our
more
chain
than
of
I
command,
think of all I would
but
say
we
is
can't.
really broken. But
We
from
can
everything I've
enforce
told,
the
it's
mask
gonna get more
policy, but it has to come
challenging
from
and
the citizenship. The problem is they're causing a disturbance in the business, starting with you is what you're saying, and then causing a huge disturbance in a public business.
that will carry you through anything. You don't have to go, oh my god, 24 is going to get worse, and 25 is going to be no.
So what if y'all want, I don't know how crunched for time are y'all to get back to where you're trying to get to. We have a supervisor en route because of how sensitive this is with the mask, and I have no idea.
Keep lighting up your heart.
But due to the sensitivity of this, we have to have a supervisor respond before we make enforcement action at this point.
How can I step forward? How can I help you?
When I told him to step back, he says I answer to nobody. I'm not going to follow your direction. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Duly noted. I will take care of that.
Which is truly for our highest good and Fawn, can you explain making it through? Where do those go who don't make it through go? Well, when I'm talking about making it through, Fawn, what I'm talking about is all of humanity making it through the shift. And it could be,
you said the one in the red hoodie?
Harris on a couple days ago.
Yeah, that's okay. That makes sense. Yeah, if y'all want to stand by, we're just waiting for our sergeant to respond.
And Aziz said that when humanity makes the shift, it's a matter of how many will make it through while still in human form. Meaning some will pass on and some will not.
Alright, so let me explain. You need to stop it because this is the problem that I had from the moment I walked inside the business, okay? From the moment I walked in, because I was called here by the tax collector's office, and as soon as I walk in the door, you're already yelling at me, you want my name and ID number, when I haven't even begun my investigation. Okay, just listen. You're still talking over while I'm trying to explain to you what's going on. From that point, and I told you I need you to stop, you just continued, okay? So we already have a problem with you not listening that well. So I was called here because of a disturbance that was being caused by you, the child, and the other list.
We're just talking.
Okay.
And I'm
this
hearing
is
that it depends on
obviously the problem that I have. You're not listening. I need you. First, I'm going to need your identification. Do you have it on you? Where is it at? Inside here. Right now, you're being detained because I gave you a lawful order to exit the building, and you listen to me. Listen. You're talking, and I'm trying to tell you what the heck is going on. I gave you a lawful order to exit this business. You, the child, and him, and y'all refused. Okay? I gave you several opportunities to walk out of this building under your own power. When I had my response with me, since you didn't want to do it under your own power, I removed you from this building. That's why you're being detained, because you were already resisting at that point. I'm giving you a lawful order to remove yourself from this situation. So that's why you're in handcuffs. That's why, listen. You're in handcuffs, he's in handcuffs, and he's in handcuffs because y'all do not listen. We are in charge here when we respond. We are 100% aware of what we're supposed to do. We are fully educated on how to enforce the law. So, and to your little jabbable comment that we were soliciting, no, soliciting would be me telling them I need to trespass y'all. I asked them a question. I've been doing this long enough. Okay, and I've been doing this long enough to know how to do my job without having someone trying to tell me how to do my job, because you're a vlogger and you put this on the internet. So I need your ID.
My intent is never to break the law.
Is there ID inside that bag?
I believe so.
Nobody left out a couple more questions, and we'll go into a meditation. And at the time right here, the time is now 911 on the East Coast box. 911 stands for one thing and one thing on its own. Many things, of course, as well. But
is it a Florida ID card?
And of course, we know also what 911 stands for.
So they're going to own it all.
Don't go the journey alone. Don't go the journey alone without asking for friends, asking for family, without asking for angels and guides. Ask for help.
Only after a number of shocks.
And this dovetails certainly with Elaine's question. How can I move through headaches to stay on this journey? I've lost so much time.
First, I have to tell you the
name. What's your first name?
First off, I feel for you. Secondly, and this almost pains me to say, you haven't lost any time.
So I'll just start with, is this you, Anselmo Morales?
Your headaches are your guides. Your headaches are teaching you something.
It's just a different ID. It's not a state ID.
So we love
what state do you have your ID out of?
We make best friends with our headaches.
What's your birthday?
Hey,
June 30th, 1980.
Until I have a supervisor respond, I'm going to let. Right now, you're being detained. That's all I can tell you. I have to have a supervisor. I have to have a supervisor make that decision. Right? Listen.
I listened to you.
And I told you that you're being detained because you were resisting an officer.
No, but I never resisted anything, sir.
Resisting is me giving you a lawful order and you refuse to do it. That's Anselmo Morales. I gave you a lawful order to exit the building and you refuse to. That's resisting an officer without violence. I don't know what your intent is because I don't know you. Okay, go ahead and explain for me then.
Our intent is never to
to get out of your thinking mode, to get out of the worries of fear and to
But
simply
you're
desire
definitely
to
allowed to
live
videotape.
here.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Which
There's 100%
is the
nothing
Mandela
wrong with
effect.
that.
But I just want to give you a clear view because, you know, nobody knows that, you know, I'm real. I have millions of people. You know, I'm a hard people that love me and respect me and love me and respect me. I actually have They say,
And I'm all about that because we don't have very many people that care about this country in this day and age currently right now in January 2021. I understand that, but listen to me though. It is a public entity, okay? There are people in here that don't want them. While you're in a public place, you can record them. It's well within your rights to record on a public property, okay?
That's what I want you to do.
But when a public place asks you to comply with the order,
Who's just flying by here on the chat room. She asked, what is a hero's journey? What does it mean? What does Sir Joseph Campbell? What does he hear? What is the relationship to self-image persona? So let's go, Tula, let's just go to hero's journey. You guys know the Joseph Campbell hero journey. We're not going to go there. But there is an arc to our lives. And the arc to our lives goes something like this. We come here, we find ourselves flawed, we find ourselves
this whole thing, honestly, from start to finish, is a really bad spot. I'm in a really bad spot. I look like a villain right now.
Until we are not down to our knees, and then have to really decide.
The reason, but listen though, this is, I give people ample opportunity. I let them make the decision. If I ask you to leave, and then I tell you to leave and you don't, when I have more than just me because I'm not going to be outnumbered.
We watch that, and we recognize there are other journeys from other countries as well that
it's going to be on October 11th.
My friend was talking over me. You see, he's new at this. He's very I'm already more prepared. We have over 1,000
the reason I tend to shy away from anything violent, anything of that sort, is that I'm very and I can watch those movies as the hero's journey and recognize that it is actually just a metaphorical story to help teach us.
Did you use 63086?
We are metaphorical stories here to teach us something.
Oh, it's in my pocket.
It's in your pocket.
So we go on a hero's journey individually, we go on a hero's journey as a tribe, we go on a hero's journey as all of humanity. When we recognize that it sets us free, it also helps us to understand that when there is a dark night of the soul,
that's
actually just what, 20 minutes before the end of your movie. So, the guy is with the girl.
I like that when we have situations like this, it's easier if it's not in front of a whole crowd. If I can have a grown adult conversation, I would like to do it in private. And so that was why when I first came in, I said, I will talk to you in a minute, let me talk to her. And then I'm trying to have that, it's just going to be a whole bunch of yelling and stuff back and forth, okay? You know Officer Smith?
Yeah, I'm trying to explain to them. It's the same thing, I'm not in a public place. I can do videos on private property. So we go to public places and listen. We are I'm gonna explain to you. We're like the mystery shop.
Trying to like quality check people.
But look what's going on in the movie.
Sometimes we go get a little bit here, like my friend over here. Dude, we support the cops. We love the cops. I have family members that are police officers. I would never be in authority.
And understand there's so much more going on than meets the eye. This is too cool. What a time to be here. What a time to incarnate. And wow, something really special.
I'll be right back with you, okay? Meeting to speak with supervisor.
I love you, this guy. Alright, that's it. Training on automatic writing after the beginning of prayer. So I teach automatic writing. You see the book, you get the video course.
So per supervisor, you and your friend are going to jail for resisting an officer and for trespass after
Started all my
warning.
channeling, although now it comes through even without.
It's coming from above me.
Can I talk
Rashad
to
asks,
him? Can I talk
when
to
in
him?
automatic writing, after the beginning prayer, and there's a couple prayers, do you ask your first question, then start writing, or you write the prayer, then all questions, then start the continuous writing. So Rashad, and this goes for everybody. Whatever
I'll let the
practice you
patrolman in
do,
charge.
it's about getting you into
He got this from the sergeant in charge of the city.
state of energy, a space, sacred space, from which to communicate or communicate.
Look, I'm being ordered by a supervisor to make this arrest, okay? So, I told you, resisting an officer without violence and trespass after warning.
And then you go into your writing. One question, allow the words to flow.
I asked you several times.
You get that pen moving, and then basically angels or spirits take your arm. Your chances are you're not going to feel anything. But allow the pen to flow for 5 or 10 minutes. Then go to the next question, and then go to the next.
Please at least let me do that, officer.
And Rashad, you can bring your question.
What did you want to ask my supervisor?
Well, you can come to our automatic writing class in a couple weeks, and I'll link here the discount code. Or you may already have taken it. Either way, you can come to live classes and ask your questions there, and I will go into way more detail. It will be honored to do so. Mary Parker, if one says, I'm woke, are they truly awake? How would one know when he or she is truly awake? This is interesting because, like I said, I don't really follow politics, and I love everyone. I don't care if you're if you've got a red flag, a blue flag, a zebra flag. I don't care. I love you, period. Done deal. You're me, I am you. However, in political circles, this word woke has taken on another terminology. It's interesting. This is the anti-shock. This is the darkness and the light coming together and doing this crazy dance together, where the word is being stolen. Waking up means to see the world from a higher perspective. Simple as that. But understand, this is not all that meets the eye. That's waking up. Now, how does one know if he or she is truly awake? Well, if nothing makes sense to you, you're waking up.
But the day after you leave, right?
You feel incredibly sensitive to everything going on around you. You're waking up. If you feel you have to do something, but you don't want to go and grab arms to do something about it, but instead want to come from a place of love, even if you really just want to hide under the table, you're waking up. If you have so much kindness and compassion in your heart that you gets stolen and sucked away by every vampire out there, so you just want to hide again under the table, you're waking up. All of these things are signs of waking up. There is no one place where we are fully asleep and one place where we are fully awake. It's all a spectrum, and guess what? You can't rank the spectrum, thank God. Because this whole human ranking system is insane. Where I am a level 1, I'm a level 10, so you're not a... Actually, the person who says that they're a level 10 awake, probably needs to wake up. The more awake you are, the more you would go, no, it's God, man. It's just love. So, there. A, you're very awake. B, the more that you do this dance, the more that you do the beat back, the more that you begin to understand, the more the tumble phone, the more you don't have to be any more awake or any less awake to enjoy this journey. It's all an opening up of the heart, cracking open to a higher level, cracking open to an even higher level, feeling tremendous pain, then cracking open to an even higher level, and then to an even higher level still, Mary. Love yourself up exactly where you're at. And if somebody else says they're woke, love them up with everything they've got. And if somebody else says, I'm not woke, love them up with everything that you've got. It's about a journey of love. It's like the done deal, end of story.
We don't like this mass bullshit at all.
I would argue, last note, my last note always brought to the
Once you're in handcuffs, you're basically in the car.
I coach a lot of students with getting their PhDs. And here's what I've learned about it.
We can do that before we head out. I can let you get that done. I have a speakerphone. I have a pretty lengthy report I have to write to document all this. So because I have to explain everything that happened. If I don't put every bit of detail in it, misdemeanor resisting, misdemeanor trespass.
Because you tend to think so much, and the world at the end of the day makes so little.
Just listen, I mean,
I wouldn't say I'm any more awake or less awake than you now.
Just next time,
this world
that's what we should have done. What happened if we told that to King George?
Hey, if you would have stepped outside with me, this would have been a whole bit different thing, which is what I was asking you to do.
Look, man, I understand that the order comes from higher up. Was it your
every single thing is by design unsustainable.
we just gotta call there and respond. All right, no.
Look, man, it's your job to stand for what's right, even if it's your boss. Your boss is telling you. You know, it's
You just put us in the middle of the situation. They have rights, you have rights, and now we have to balance it all.
Seeking advice on something
you said to step out, but we weren't.
So let's make a call, okay?
Let me make the phone.
Yeah, I'll let you make a phone call. Yes, sir.
What's going on? Movie I was in earlier this year with Bill Bennett called Facing Fear. And I guess there's a poignant line in the movie. I'm dancing in the movie. dancing to
Until finally
fear.
the candidate's
This
introduction
is what
into
it's
the
all
world of
about,
Freemasonry,
is dancing with life, no matter where
the
you're
ancient
at.
craft.
All right,
So
let's go
I'll
to
be able to let you make this phone call as soon as we relocate over there.
Mary always has to disappear. If we don't shift as a collective,
Forced to go into hiding
comes to an
by the appearance of Jesus on the human scene.
we just lose this
Another
opportunity
reason
and attitude
why he's
and
passionately hated.
experience.
And soon, him and his ways will be done away with in this view.
And
So will your
the best
rights.
interpretation. If
Still
we
don't
don't
believe
shift as a collective, it all comes to
Still
an
doubting all the evidence,
Humanity
like
doesn't
the Freemasons are
If we
counting
drive
on you
ourselves
to
on the
doubt.
cliff, won't we all still return
Well,
the energy? Yes, absolutely. We'll be fine.
Remember from the encyclopedia,
Mary, whether we exist here or not exist here, we will be fine.
continuing
And we'll still be
impact of
infinite eternal
speculative
beings. We
modern
won't have karmic repercussions to pay for on the other side, and life will go on. There is life after life. We just lose an opportunity to have it truly spiritual or true spiritual.
Okay.
It's
So
not that we
is it
want
on
to
here that you have the number?
because everything is spiritual. There is nothing that is not spiritual. Everything is an energetic experience. Change the word spiritual and we can call it energetic. Everything is an energetic experience. Every single thing. It is what? It's a dangerous word. I was going to say what level of an experience.
I mean, I'm not going to be doing anything with your phone other than just sitting right there. But
How much do we really want to learn this lifetime? How much do we
just
really
make
want to
the phone
explore
call and
our
I'm going to set the phone right
We
here.
really want to help everyone this lifetime. So, if we go back to Stephen Greer, which was a really profound show about a month ago.
Put on speaker and I'll set it right there.
What Stephen talks about is since we exploded and humanity exploded the human bomb, there's a slip of the bomb. Since we exploded the hydrogen bomb,
What number?
what's the better word for it? Extraterrestrial races have gotten very involved in what's going on here. That's an effect on them. Not just an
Call
effect
that
on them,
662 number again?
but an effect on them as far as scary waves, travel, and injury to time and space. So that's the word. And so, Mary, we have an opportunity as a human species to make it through and help our brothers and sisters going through their journey. Whether that's our human brothers and sisters, or whether that's our brothers and sisters.
That's letting it go too far, man.
That energy matters. Focusing on people matters. Focusing on people even after
What's the number?
matters. The more that we can put our hearts into what I call co-opetition, rather than and the more that we can focus on the zero-point energy of love rather than scarcity, I believe the more it makes a difference for everyone on their journey, no matter where they're at, no matter whether they're humanity or not, anywhere in the cosmos. And that's why it does conversely. It's okay if we don't make this world is going, alright, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something like today, now, this minute. What can I do? Everything. And at the end of the day, we are eternal, divine beings in disguise of human form. We're going to be okay, but actually, to me, that frees us up to live at an even higher level, to take risks, to put ourselves out there, to stop playing it safe. And while I'm not regularly attuned to playing it safe, Mary, I do tend to put myself out there. I also like to play that first good test of them. I like to test myself in one place and say, okay, this is good, this is home. I'll stay here for the rest of my life.
Why do you think the initiation ceremonies are to describe the first of
Putting all of us out there that got married, you specifically
I'm gonna even answer that.
It's challenging.
Come on, people, wake up with me.
Uncomfortable.
He's calling me out. I'm Freemason, okay?
All of us. That's the highest level that we
And the one I see
can
is
on earth.
of the
And when you
God
find on the
of
other
the
side, yeah. So we
Now
might
he
as well
shakes
rock
it
it
all
here now.
silence.
Everything.
What the masses fail
Thank
to
you so
see
much. All right, take a few more questions.
is what's written on the bookshelf.
Let's see. T. Jones, how long will this shift take?
The Royal
T. Jones, I've heard 3 generations.
This is what about songs to friends.
3 generations. There.
Yes, carving a nose, a witch.
Are we going to live long enough to see a bunch of the shifts now?
And if you still have to live by
Are we going to live long enough to be able to
television,
completely shift energetically?
entertainment,
Yes,
movies,
entirely
media, and
possible.
whatnot.
I'm gonna put this in your
Are we
back.
going to see
incredible eyes
when the
that
dust
God
settles what's on the other side?
I haven't
Probably
finished the
not,
report yet.
because it's going to take time.
Let me finish what I have to do.
With Satanists
Yeah,
are at the
I will let you try again. I just need to finish what I
ban
have
on
to do.
witchcraft was only officially lifted in England in
We are
after more than 1500 years.
here. I can also go to
So that tells you who's in control now.
We are a level 0.
And when I give you a glimpse into
of,
witchcraft in a minute,
spiritual
you'll see
beings
why
having
it's evil.
a physical existence.
And why
We
should
learn to
anything
suffer,
legal?
and it doesn't have to be that
Even
way.
when using
so
the
as we shift
so-called
out of this
good.
time period, we get
Because
to shed
the
all
well
that
they
pain and
draw
suffering.
from
And I think that may
is
actually make us
poison.
uncomfortable coming to the other side and seeing
But
what's
thanks to
there.
propaganda,
But I do believe 3 generations is
craft
actually
of
quite
the
rapid.
witch
I do
has
believe
been
that
absorbed
the majority of
that's
us will be
exactly
here
one
long
of the
enough
reasons
to
why
see
I'm a
some of these
police officer, man.
profound
Justin Timberlake
shifts.
also
And I
referred
believe
to
they are
magic
coming back.
cover-up.
much faster than we are. Again,
even while
this
I'm
2023 is
recording,
going to be a wrecking ball
I
of safety
hate
for
that I
us.
have to do
Not
this,
in a
but
negative
unfortunately,
way, but we've got 6 months
this
left
is
where
now, since it's
hold
gone
on
up
to your
past
socks.
me, I
24
can't
and 25
make
are very
decisions
different ways of probably even more
on
powerful.
this case.
But I believe they are massive.
Truthfully, I really would like to just trespass y'all and have y'all leave, but because it evolved and escalated, we have to take the enforcement
You
action
can't
towards
feel it for what it really is.
I've seen it already, and
Or if you do, your mind is isolated and confined it to some small groups of unimportance,
Time is not real
scattered here and
for
there over this diverse
and
world.
your life
And
is
so
already
it's
completely
nothing to be
political
feared or
sort of
concerned
mind.
about.
The trick is
But that's the
it's not
furthest
just, I don't just
thing
have one
from the
life to
truth.
here moving forward, so you don't just have one
Now,
life.
some would just want to say that witchcraft isn't Satan.
We've gotten into such perfect alignment,
That's
and the
either
universe
more
has been
delusion
so present,
or
so aware at
misdirection.
these moments to
As
show you how that
confirmed here
timeline
by
for the
Anton
day
LaVey,
is
the
perfectly unfold.
companion
You see the
satanic
epiphany
Bible,
skill, you may be able to
speaking
hone
of the
it,
followers
or it
of
may
the
come about at
witchcraft,
times
not
to
Satanism.
help you recognize the big picture of
You
what's
are
going
very
on.
accurate
This
with
is
that.
not all there is.
They
And so
cannot
what I
afford
would
to
do so
admit to
is I would lean into this, I would call on it, I would ask for it, I would write about it in my automatic writing or whatever practice
knows
that I do,
where
and
the
see if
power
I
of
can begin
witchcraft
to
comes
use this
from.
more and more.
Now, does
in
that
the
mean
facility.
that
You may
Justin
have a
Timberlake
gift
is a
and you can help
Satanist
others
because
with
of
it
his
as well,
symbolism
but
and
you've been given a
use
glimpse
of his
to
word
help you
alluding
to
to
wake
witchcraft
up and
in
to
his
help you
artwork?
to shift to.
Well, yes, actually,
And
that's
we go
correct.
from there
He
to
is.
Aaron on the same
He's a
journey
quote.
too.
He's one of
Love you, my
one of
brother.
the songs.
All right. How can we specifically ask our angelic team for specific help on specific things?
You want to see
So,
who else
Aaron,
is in good company
first
with
off,
these
I go to
famous
all. I
idols?
go to automatic writing. I go to automatic writing. I go to automatic writing. But I wouldn't stop there. I would ask when I'm driving down the
Same
road. I
sign.
would ask whenever I see
Same
444, whenever I see any of the angel numbers.
Satanism.
I would put out that request. I would ask in the evening.
Do they
talk.
all
But
have
what
to
I
admit
wouldn't
it
do,
in
Aaron,
the English
is
language
beat
for
the
you to
team
believe
over
me?
the head.
Or can the symbols
So,
they use
you know our
finally be
journey.
enough
You know
for
that we certainly want to be settled now.
Look at what another
and
legendary
it's just funny and
Freemason
interesting.
after he waits
The best way to
states.
put it. Then instead
Out
we have
of
a 4-day
evil
place, and then
comes
we have a 2-month or longer place,
and the
it could be much
confusion of
longer. We could fall in
tongues
love with
gave
it.
rise
No,
to the
it
ancient
doesn't get any
practice
better
of
than this.
Masons
But what I do is I put the
conversing
request out
without
there,
the use of speech.
and then I let it go, and I put the request
Out
out,
of evil
and then I
comes
let it
good,
go.
so it's
Why?
good to do evil.
Because I don't want to create an
That's what he's
energetic
saying.
block, Aaron, and desperation.
See,
is the
I'm
greatest
trying to
energetic
include
block
you
in the
into the
world.
conversation that
What's
the
your primary
Freemasons are
language
having with each
mainstream?
other
Put
in
it out there
public
that way.
via symbolism, unbeknownst to you.
But then please, I need
Listen to what famous US
Is
footballer
your
Tom Brady
the
said
winter
regarding his
address?
wife.
What happens? We're so focused on the
Are
I
you
need
employed
this
at all?
that we stop being able to hear the answers coming to us.
So
and
self-employed?
see the answers coming to us. So we put it out there, step, put it out again, and we step back. We continuously step back and allow specific things to come to you in non-specific ways, in ways that are not what we're looking for. I have a laundry list of what I wanted in our next place. It ain't the next place.
That's just odd.
What's your
Something even
how much do you
better
think you
will
weigh?
come out of it being something very different than what I expected.
And her husband just
We'll still
told
be
you
able to
What's
do
your
the show,
cell phone number?
and we'll still be able to love you guys
He's
up,
still
and we'll still be able to love up Daisy, Hannah, and Ruth, and the kitties. How does it get any better than that? So we put it out there for those
He's a
specific
member
things,
of the one
and then
Brown
we
eyes.
so
And abracadabra is a legitimate word used in
And you are
witchcraft.
right, Emily. Desperation is
Here
the
it is
greatest
in the
energetic.
100-year-old Encyclopedia of Freemasonry.
Lots of love, Emily. All right.
Why would the word
Gerhard,
abracadabra
how do I release
be
the
in the
so-called
Encyclopedia of
shackles
Freemasonry, the
that don't hold me
fraternity
back
that
from
runs
making myself
charities,
for the benefit of the
hospitals,
good? Thank you.
nursing homes,
How do I release
and
the
that
so-called
secretly
What city were you
supply
born
us
in?
with
Gerhard,
popes, presidents,
there are no shackles.
prime ministers,
Can you spell it for me?
kings and
Nothing
queens,
holding you back
and the bulk
from
of our
breaking into
entertainers.
yourself.
Why?
There's nothing.
You know, I really think
You got
it's
one arm?
time
You got another?
to show
You
you
with one arm, you
what
can do it, you can't
Satanists
believe it.
dressed as Freemasons are going to do to you and the
Just
world
embrace your
to
true
finally
self. Go on,
establish
everybody.
their new world,
Embrace
their
your true
utopia.
self. You can do
And
it
this
right
is going to be
here,
the segue
right
into
now.
that.
You don't need.
This is my last practical
anything
example of
to erase your
Freemasonry's
true self.
satanic roots.
You are all there
And then I'll
is.
close
You
this
are
presentation
goodness. You are greatness.
with the most
You
shocking
are
thing
love.
you'll see
You
or
are
hear.
perfect. And
You probably won't care.
we're gonna trip. We're gonna
But
fall.
to the
We're gonna go
precious
back
few
and
who
hold
remain
so
on,
The sergeant
you
said
are
we're not
we
going
throw
to
the
greatest,
do
kitchen sink
resisting.
We do
We're just going to charge you with the trespass after
embark on
warning.
journeys inside and outside of ourselves. We do all sorts of fun stuff to
This is
imbibe
Jay-Z.
pure joy, whatever
Inside
that
his
means for
Masonic
us.
Lodge.
But thank you so much, Amanda.
See the
Thank you,
Masons
thank you,
and
thank you. How does it get any better than this? But
This is where Jay-Z
you
takes
are
sick
your
urgent
truest
silence
self.
No,
The question, how do
I
I
got
do
on shift at 2 o'clock.
I don't want to put any pressure on you, Gerhard. That's again coming back to desperation. Oh my God, I must help others. So between you and me, Gerhard, I had 2 MBEs and I had a third whack with a 2x4 from the universe to help crack my heart.
Well, the reason why we didn't really get too much of a time to do that is it was starting to turn into a major disturbance, and for officer safety reasons at that point, I'm by myself.
It can even wake you up.
I'm outnumbered.
Collide into a concrete wall.
And so when I got on the radio, when I had the chance to say I need more units here,
this is where
I was giving y'all ample opportunity to come step outside, and y'all are just very firm in the fact that you didn't want to. So at that point, we have to. I'm not going to stand there.
I'll take a few more questions. We're having fun. Sicily down. I keep getting told I'm not practicing Christianity right.
There is peace when your conscience has been killed.
Okay, first off. If you're practicing love, you're doing it right. If we go back to Jesus, look at how he lived, not at what, not the interpretation, but look at how that he lived. He had it going on. He was all about the love, all about the love, all about the love.
This is him with well-known witch, Marina Abramovich.
Now,
also showing her side.
I absolutely hate that I'm doing this right now. I absolutely hate this.
Going back to the original.
The most annoying thing that I've if I didn't break my ankle in college, I would have been military. They said, no, we don't want anybody with a broke-ass ankle in the military.
Of the most notorious Satans of the 20th century, 33rd degree Freemason,
a lot of money challenges here on Earth. Yogananda, the author of autobiography of Yogi. I'm
not happy with this. I'm being completely honest with you.
Manifest money like that. Yogananda died struggling to get money for his organization. Struggling to get money for his organization. Now his organization is going to be around from here till eternity.
I became a police officer to do what I did before I came here. Arrest someone for an outstanding warrant, like things like that. That's the kind of police work I like to do. Or the other day where I stopped a guy who was driving an unregistered vehicle, had a tag that didn't belong, and he had a bunch of meth. That's the kind of. Now I'm on the path to being transferred to a traffic enforcement unit to do DUI traffic enforcement, but that's the kind of police work I like to do. I don't get anything out of this.
And I see the money flowing. Thank you, Movie Monday. With my name. How does it get any better than this? Thank you. The money flow has nothing to do with whether you're being a good Christian, a good religious person, a good Jewish person, or a good anything. It may have to do with wounds and bronze, or it may simply be your way on your path. Sophie.
Straight from the Bible, depicting the number of wickedness in human form. In his what's called Liber's writings, he says, with my hawk's head, I peck at the eyes of Jesus as he
What were the other times you were arrested for?
Do you see the hatred?
Can you mention
for the actual act
that
of
I hate
recording?
you too? Keep watching. And from the equinox, with the all-seeing eye of Freemasonry.
I'm very well versed on where you can record and can't record because we get called out to this all the time. It's just when people are firm in the fact that they refuse to obey the lawful orders where things get put in a direction like today where we don't want to go.
Hangs the hag, died, bloody.
I was trying to maintain the order in there because it was getting a little out of control.
There's a massive glimpse into the new world order that's coming. Keep watching. Down here, do what thou wilt.
If it was just you and you stepped outside with me, and it wasn't him, but both of y'all refused to step outside and we both told them, but I can do what you want. But look though, I can go back and review my body camera, and I asked y'all several times, which is why I stopped. I just took a deep breath, and I waited for my backup because it wasn't anything violent. Y'all were just being very passively resistant at that point. So when my partner showed up and said, hey, we need to leave, I've asked him to leave several times, he said, okay, grab him, I grabbed you. It's not that we were trying to flex on anything, it's just we're trying to, as the other patrolman said, de-escalate the situation.
Do what thou wilt.
3, 4.
And what about the royal art of Freemasonry?
7, 3.
Magic is the highest, most absolute, and most divine knowledge of natural philosophy. What a statement. The highest, most absolute and divine. Well, let's have a closer look into some of the more hidden secrets of the most divine natural philosophy known as magic. Any living being is a storehouse of energy, varying in quantity according to the size and health of the animal. At the death of the animal, this energy is liberated suddenly. The animal therefore should be killed within the circle.
The call they sent out to us was a panic alarm.
So that energy is released can be captured and directed to serve the will
It came as a panic alarm.
This is science, a hidden science.
It came out as a priority dispatch.
Coming from a 33rd degree Freemason. And don't you forget that. For the highest spiritual working, one must accordingly choose that victim which contains the greatest and purest force. A male child of perfect innocence and high intelligence.
You're gonna want to try and find somebody else to hang around then.
Who's making the love
Can
sound
you
in the
see?
background?
This is who Jay-Z is quoting when he's talking. This is who this Jonas brother holds in high esteem.
There are no words.
This is who the Beatles have on their front cover as a figure they admire. No worse, they put at the top. This is the same picture of the front cover in a mirrored form, and after some kaleidoscoping, you'll find this. Fellow Freemason Aleister Crowley sits at the top. Down the bottom there even appears the phallus with the testicles, and up here the vesicle parts, also known as the vagina.
But unconditional love.
Does this picture make more sense now?
It came as a panic alarm.
Yes, indeed. And by the way, that's when JC got his symbol from Satanism, as portrayed here by Satanist and Freemason Aleister Crowley, and by Satanic Church founder Anton LaVey.
Can you imagine that?
Does anyone still think that Freemasonry isn't
but instead being with this little box that I'm holding, the distractor.
Let's finally take a peek into the Royal Art of
Freemasonry. Or peck at me, put the phone down. So let's say you've got a good sharp peek. Let's say that Ruth pecks me.
This is a practitioner's
I'm on the phone and not being
from
pecked.
some bogus author trying to expose witchcraft. Just take a minute through your head. This is real, and this is protected. The writer or compiler of this God-forsaken book warns the reader that the recipes may seem disgusting,
I don't love that you did that
but
to
the
me.
knowledge
I don't love
revealed
the
has been
action.
forbidden,
But I love
and has
you
caused
so,
suffering and death to witches and the
much.
victims of witches.
Unconditional love.
You don't think witchcraft was a serious menace in times past?
A lot of people don't know the rights, man.
Come with me, and I'll show you how bad this menace actually gets. As the world's most powerful and secret religion moves ever closer to fulfilling its biblical destiny, and it will. Close your eyes or not, it will fulfill its destiny.
I love you so
Firstly, let's connect this sick art straight to modern Freemasonry with the word abracadabra.
Dalai Lama talks about that. I think he
Both
talked about his
written in
monks who've been
triangular
locked up. And
from the Manual of
how they were
Witchcraft
afraid of
and
losing
from the
themselves.
Encyclopedia of the Secret Society that your Prime Minister belongs to. And just like high-ranking Freemasons, male and female witches also drink and review the skull. But here the practitioner drinks wine, in which they first dissolve or boil the brains or heart before consuming it all
in that beingness of the love is the love from the love
in this ritual,
for
the
the
initiate
love.
is instructed to drink in a
And
knife
living
and sweet
from
water
that
out of a skull of one that
Now,
had been
for myself,
That's right.
I'm pretty decent.
out of the skull of a human who's been
There's a
murdered
long way
or
for improvement to
sacrificed.
go.
Otherwise,
But if I
eat
get
a
knocked
pig
out,
with
I
a
come
knife
back,
that's
and I
still
get knocked out, and I come back. And I think unconditional love
Please don't
is
turn
learning
away.
how to do that
Look straight
dance
ahead
until that
and
transition
open
back
your eyes
to
to
love
the
and
planet
back to
you
love
are
and back
on.
to love and back to love.
Because
It's
the real
so
monster under
fast.
your bed doesn't
It's
actually go
almost
away
like
when you close your
electricity
eyes.
slipping, positive, negative, and
In other rituals of the craft, you burn a rooster while he's alive.
that you can't even, like a flipper
With
of
the
a screen,
use
if it
of
goes fast
the
enough, you can't
poisonous
even
plant
tell
used in
that your screen is flipping
potions of witches,
and not
you can assure
following the
death and
image.
destruction
You
of
come
the
back to it so fast, you just stay in
You want to
that
make a
place.
female enemy sterile?
And to me, limit.
Or a male enemy impotent?
Technically, we can.
Seeking them
Well,
five
we
times
don't
a day.
issue trespass
That's my
citations.
hope.
We just issue
To
trespass
stay in that place,
warnings,
because
and
that
then
is a
if you
place of
The hand of
leave at that point,
Horus,
which is
the
where
severed hand,
God
is
is
dried and
yours.
preserved
That is
to
a
be
place
used in
limit
black
that's
magic.
where
Yes,
I am
dead
taking the
human
ultimate
hand.
highest level perspective.
It's,
I
like I
do
said,
all
it's
of
a
us
black
taking the
circle
ultimate highest
is
level
most
perspective.
effective for operations of
Come
evil.
from that place of
The use of
unconditional
blood
love.
and sex in
not
ritual
me.
was
And Mary
considered
is saying, do this
helpful
without politics.
for
That's my
obtaining
unconditional love.
necessary
Very good, Bob.
energy.
Mary, what a great exercise. And to watch a few minutes of the news and send love.
But here's where the
Or
darkness
go out on the
thickens even
streets
further.
and just send love to people. Or
Animals
to say, I'm going to
such
take
as
just
black
5
cats
minutes and be in the place
Sarge, I'm
of
done. I'm going
love.
to send him to you.
Heck, you can start with 5 seconds, then go to 5 minutes.
Participants
That is
drink the
awesome.
blood
And Mary,
of
every
sacrifice.
bit of that love does make
And
a
just so
difference.
you know that Stanley Kubrick wasn't
Pat Mitchell,
joking,
for the last
an
question
orgy
of the
of
evening.
participants sometimes follows the mass.
Pat, I never brought my daughter up to be religious. Unfortunately, now she's not spiritual, but
Just
very good in
science.
science. She
The
thinks she's dying, and
science
there's
of
nothing. Is there a
witchcraft,
way to
the royal art.
Okay, first
Here,
off,
what's necessary for the
she's
working
very good
is
in kind.
the fat of
That
young
is very
children.
cool. That is pretty awesome.
Dead children.
That is amazing. That is beyond cool. That is
How many
beyond
children do you
greatness.
think
That
go
is
missing in
beyond
Australia?
awesome. Thank you, Ginger Love. Thank you, Ginger Love. Thank you, Ginger Love.
That's
To be kind really is all it's about.
What about the world?
She thinks you're dying, and there's nothing.
Well, according to the
She
International
will be
Center
fine.
for Missing
She
and
won't
Exploited
just
Children,
die, and there won't just be nothing. I have a concerns about this.
I just submitted both of them.
the highest, most absolute, and most divine knowledge of natural laws has anything to do with that?
Let him make one more phone call.
Any chance of an international secret system that is bolstered by initiations and degrees? bound under the most brutal penalties that the human mind can ever devise. Do you think that has any chance of that? Am I saying that this Freemason can sacrifice children? No, I never said that. Did he ever even remotely mention the secret societies? Did he ever try to warn you? Educate you? No. Because I know. Am I saying that these Freemasons sacrifice children?
No way. Even when you're on the other side of the veil,
never said that either. But have they ever warned you about a secret society that believes that Lucifer is the savior?
It's impossible not
The society functioning right under your nose? That's
fine. What you get.
No, even more of what you do. Julia Gillard admitted she belonged to one, but that's about it because they're all under oath. So where does this ancient craft came from? It originates from the spirit realm. The spirit beings, that's who taught mankind the royal art. Before civilization began, he said they was chapter the rights of Satan to Christ. And that explains the typical satanic seven. The one, usually performed as the osculum, also known as the kiss of shame, which is so shameful that also kissing behind the waters of deep.
Do you get a number written down?
This is what matters the most.
Sure, this is far
is what's going to make the biggest difference in her life. I know with baby Hannah right now.
The original order of the Knights of were found guilty of this very same ritual. And where do you find a modern variant of constantly
what we do in love Jill. I
the
love
highest
you so much.
degree
Thank you so much.
It depends on how many people are down in jail. It could take 2 to 3 or 4 hours.
This is one of her 2 twin boys, and Michael is now across the veil. Thank you, Michael, for your love. So happy birthday to Sean and happy birthday to Michael. And how does it get any better than this? All right, I'm going to take a sip of water. We're going to dive into this very great meditation. Boy, has the time flown.
That's exactly what's hiding inside you. I'm only showing you this to show you the reality of Satan, the demonic realm, even though you're down there, world you can't see.
Alright, honey bun, thank you so much, and I'm sorry to bother you.
While I'm doing that, feel free to put in the chat.
The hierarchy of demons. I'm at the wall place in county.
I just sent him to you. I'm letting him make a phone call to his bail people, and then we're gonna head on out.
Because after the ritual is performed on Earth,
you want me to turn this off for you?
Effects are carried out to their conclusion in the spirit realm.
Waiting on y'all.
By spiritual beings, demons, actual demons. The reality that is hidden from you. Because if you found out Satan's real, then that would have to make Jesus Christ real too. And he is the one they hate. And if Jesus Christ is real, that changes everything.
I think I told you, man. I'm in probably one of I've been in a couple of situations like this where I've had to make arrests that I didn't really agree with. This is one that I definitely want to be.
The prostitute exists in the next rituals become made later. All of a sudden, they start
has humanity been enslaved?
Life is being destroyed in both the natural world and to some degree even the human world. Humanity essentially.
Well, listen to me, just because I want to be as helpful as I possibly can. So say something very similar to this happens again. If we ask you just to step outside so we can have a conversation away from everybody, I know you're recording everything, but just step outside. It will alleviate all of these problems.
Far greater than we have ever seen ourselves. So the level of change, transformation, and growth we will see is 3 times what our
had too many situations here recently where it gets messed with sovereign citizens, and officers have been ambushed in public places like this.
Where humanity is heading, then do we have the Z Speak show for you. Today I'll be talking with Lee Harris, energy intuitive, transformational teacher, and the author of several brilliant books, including his latest, really exciting Blow Me Away Channel Co-Creation, Awaken Your Consciousness. And that's just what I want to talk with him about today, about who and what we truly are, where we came from, why we're here, and where in the world humanity is going. So welcome back to the show, Lee. Are you ready to shine?
I am ready. Thank you for having me, Michael.
So
Great to
after
be with
this,
both
is this
of you
all gonna
today.
go on your
And
webpage?
this won't be the only appearance. He was supposed to take a nap. Oh, I know. Wait a second. Lee Harris is going to be on the show. I need to say hi. And you can hear him singing on camera.
Super sweet. So we had a lot of fun just happening ago as well. So it's been a lot of fun.
So I can't believe I'm not going to ask this question. Before we dive right into this, has humanity been enslaved?
According to disease, yes.
I don't like to talk bad about people, but
They talk about it. It's
I know there's
your sergeant just told you not to be nice, and your job is to
the liberation
be
of
nice to people.
As I said, it's a tricky
so
road.
I imagine
It's not
I'm
easy as it's going to be ongoing for a while, but right now, they talk about this clamp that got put on us, essentially our potential, our abilities, who we are here to be in the consciousness of our time, and this is a period of history where it's all being undone, which can explain why some of us feel like our heads are spinning and we're going at 1,000 miles an hour some days.
It seems like this is why all systems are falling apart every time. To kind of make
Stupid fairy tales.
Yeah, one of the things that they have said, and I've been saying this for years, but it gets more detailed lately, I guess because of where we're at and what we're going through, is
the first time I've
essentially what we're seeing in our world, and what many of us of a certain age were raised in, perhaps it's not so true if you're 25 or under or 30 or under, we
that's incredible, man.
in the oldest
You're right.
humanity has been.
Is there anything, because they're going to ask you when you get down there,
massive wave of healing
stuff is in your pocket, anything that doesn't have your name on it,
but also as well as the healing that we're beginning to see and the connections we're making as a society and inequality, we're seeing the complete opposite. We're seeing, various parts of the
or if it has like your children or whatever, that's fine too. But if it has like some random person, like your friend, like everything has okay. I just don't want them to make me go, because if it doesn't belong to you, then they make me put it in our property room, and then that's another step to get that out. I'm just trying to save you some headache when you get out.
And that will just continue to grow as we get to 2030, but that particularly this next couple of years of 2024 having a big focus, we will be seeing a lot of, if you like, fight or clashing, and it's very much up to how we show up as a humanity, what we will say yes to, what we won't stand for. So yeah, lots of those things all colliding at once, which again goes back to why I think for many of us everything just feels head spinning at the moment.
And I want to dive into all that and dive into where we're going and dive into this thing called a bifurcation of humanity, literally second guessing it. However, it seems to me, and this is the perfect time to bring somebody on. It seems to me, and talk about it, because this is a channel with disease.
Yeah, you know that exact address, but you know the city.
Talks about disease, talk about, I say we, because
That's still Jacksonville, yeah. Jacksonville is one of 10 municipalities, or one of about 10 municipalities in the country where the county and the city are the same. So in Jacksonville's Duval County, Duval County is Jacksonville.
Okay, because I'm trying to get back to my car.
Yeah, so the address is going to be where you were at is 6331 Roosevelt.
We're talking a lot about the new generation, so
they'll give you a copy of the report that I wrote.
Anybody who is like late teens at this moment in time, it's a really important generation. They are faster than we ever were, and they're able to be because of what the bridge generations have done for them. They are less tolerant or able to hang with a lot of the old system stuff. They will have more allergic reactions, literally and metaphorically, to things, because they are here to birth something newer and something truer.
And I think she's loving
it. 3 days before Christmas, I struggled with a mentally insane person in the intersection, and my legs went till chasing after him, and I fell and busted my knee. And a woman in the intersection recorded it, put it on Duval Promo, put it on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, the whole deal.
You know, I viral TikTok,
Facebook, we're not going to take it anymore. Is needed right now. That we can't live by the old guard, the old way.
The only unfortunate, I didn't really care that I went viral. I ended up, the comments were what really got me. Is because it was a white guy that had mental issues, but he was taking a 2x4 and smacking people's cars with it. So
the world has changed since
they're like, oh, well, if he was black, they would have shot him. Like, no.
Everybody say that all the time.
Or anyone else who is
Yeah, I ended up getting a partial tear of my meniscus.
Our generation, sure, a lot has changed.
I'm right at the end of the recovery, so it's been an interesting last 3 weeks, because 3 days before that, a DUI driver crashed into my car, and then that same day, one of my really good friends on the night shift killed himself. So this last month has been absolutely terrible.
But I once heard from a Freemason's honest one.
Yeah. Holidays are not really that pleasant.
He knew the truth. Just
My
like you
first
do
video ever?
arrested. He wrote to me.
By a hot female
By
cop.
the time we are
6
done,
million views.
church
Just for video recording on the sidewalk
well, in case
in
you
front of
think
the Army National Guard in Rhode
say
Island.
this is a fashion show.
I thought you want to be famous,
Research revealed
and I wasn't
church.
lying.
And it was organized by
See, that's where officers are misinformed on how to do their job.
Founded by 30
This
Satanists,
thing I was in the front page of the
designed
Journal.
to be a heart-wrenching mockery and a colossal sign of the
Everybody was like,
times.
my video had like
Just so you know, it's a Masonic production.
2,000
He's the
views
inside
like
coach.
in 20 hours.
See those twin pillars?
I got 4 million hits to my channel this month.
See the Masonic check
That is insane, and we're only 11 days into the year.
Politicians, see the Masonic spread compass. Can't be part of their it is. You have to try and stand
I'm not worried though, you know what I'm saying, bro? It is what it is. I'm a freedom fighter, you know? This is why I'm putting myself in the front lines so that people in the future don't have to suffer these type of policies and laws that they're going to require you to take pictures in a public place. So they're going to require a license. If people like us don't stand up for the First Amendment, how is it that everybody thinks that video recording you it's somewhat illegal? That's what we do. Everybody thinks it's illegal to record you.
People assume, though, they don't go do their own research. I've recorded all the time. It doesn't bother me.
Of course not. He was a Freemason, and so was the director James Cameron of the highest caliber. Finally, you have to remove a male model in a skirt with two satanic inverted crosses of Jesus.
I got tackled on the ground by 6 officers.
The morbid
Dude, just because I hurt their feelings. And I didn't say anything nasty. I just moved them peacefully. And they turned my face and then they went to court and lied. And then I beat the charge. So now what?
Then your observational
what was
skills
that all about?
have been
But you know what I
compromised.
did?
In a span of 2 days,
I brought
I
them
saw these
outside of
as
the
well
courthouse and followed them like a paparazzi.
The satanic age is here.
How could you go
Manifesting
to
all around
court
us,
as a police officer and
while you look
lie?
straight ahead with the same unknown to us, because no one's trying to initiation
I told
process
them,
of
Those are the people in this profession that I like.
society
You
at
know what I'm
large
saying? Nope.
must be incrementally introduced and
I take a polygraph any time of the day. And I know it's not
and have it be
admissible at
slowly but
court,
surely perverted
but it's not admissible at court for a reason.
degree by degree.
We're gonna have a lot of public servants going to jail. That's why it's not admissible at court. It's not because of us. It's because of y'all.
The sick world of pornography is
And I say
considered as
you, but
liberating,
not including you. Yeah, you're a good guy.
protected by free
You're a
speech.
good guy.
What I'm giving you here is in California, babies are allowed to be aborted after birth because it's a woman's choice. And I'm missing everything. And that's not considered murder.
It is what it is.
To show
At least it's just a trespass.
a world where we should applaud young children like Desmond is amazing. Think about what we watched while he
I
dances
think
to
it's
the
like,
game at a gay
I
pride.
think if it's second degree misdemeanor, I think the maximum penalty is 90 days. Yeah, but with coronavirus, they're trying to not really throw the book at people.
They don't want people in there, yeah.
Sick, sinful, they call it evil, which is what it is being a Freemason. What spirit is behind Desmond and his amazing power? Oh yeah, this evil spirit, no doubt.
I walked in that,
You think Freemasonry and their peculiar morals aren't behind the
Air Force
decline of
Base
Christian morality and morality worldwide? It's all by design,
I what's
man.
called the one where
The
they parked
Masonic
the
war
president's
on
plane.
Jesus and the Christian
Oh, the Air Force one.
is generally undetected
I
by
walked in there,
human
bro.
perceptions, and still
It
people
was
want to make a comment
scary.
on how
I didn't pass the restricted area.
loud over the eyes of their hearts. Charles Darwin himself will tell you that intelligent
And then they let
there
me
is
go.
no bigger axe that has ever been grinded to be
Cuff
one.
me, I've been cuffed multiple times.
But they always let me go.
Jesus Christ pretty much
They always let me
destroyed
go.
their religion,
They really went the extra mile. Now
and they will have their revenge.
your boss just probably heard of us earlier, and now he's hearing from us
We've all been initiated
again.
into the lowest levels of materialistic Satanism under the banner of secular humanism. Because I know blokes who think life's great, mate. Life's terrific. Life's what you make it.
Hard is it? I know you don't.
Evil, listen, Satanists are just worse. Christians
Well, I worked in the jail for 2 years, so I've seen people struggle to try and get a hold of somebody.
There are no conspiracies. John F.
That's where I started my career. I did it for 2 years. That's why I am the way I am. I got to see what it's like being inside there, so I know what I'm about to do to somebody if I'm taking them to jail. I know what that impact is going to be like.
When darkness comes to your door, takes your wife, takes your health, your job, your home, your freedom, your children, then you call out,
some people even
oh my God, my God,
security,
this is evil. Why is this happening to me? God of this realm. Well, here comes the darkness.
Traumatized, dude.
Magic. Here
This
comes
is
the
traumatizing, bro.
I saw people that went in there for the first time.
You know what I'm saying? I'm tied up
spirit realm.
in the back of a car, and then they're gonna put me in worst place on earth besides the cemetery.
I saw people that were arrested for the first time, and I saw how it impacted them, and it was a drastic impact, man. Like for people who've never been arrested before.
You've never had that feeling, bro.
No, but I got to see it though on it because I worked on the misdemeanor floor, so I saw people being arrested all the time.
It doesn't feel good, bro. Like when you guys were back there all talking, and I was in the cop car. I even though I already know I've been there doing that, but I was having a bad anxiety attack right now, dog. You know what I'm saying?
I believe you.
Oh my God! Then I told you I'm hot. You hooked it up.
Yeah, I apologize about that, man. I try to be as hospitable as I can.
No, you are.
Here we have a reference to age.
And I will let my viewers know too. That even though you took me to jail, you know what? People are gonna talk shit about you, bro. Because they're gonna say, yeah, obey orders, right? Because people are gonna say that you're supposed to pretty much say fuck your boss.
Well, technically, I could lose my job if I don't. So
yeah, I hear you.
And this is how I make my money.
That's what they're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you then lose your job because they're gonna they want you to uphold freedom, bro.
I mean,
a job is just a job, bro.
Well, this is not just a job to me. This is a career. Like I live to publicly serve. So like my dad's a retired fireman and he did it for 29 years. And this is the only. If I wasn't an officer, I'd be a firefighter. Like it's the only thing I've ever wanted to do with my life is help other people. So.
Because they say, you guys, I'm not saying police officers are not heroes. There's a lot of police officers that save a lot of people all the time.
I mean, I have a life-saving award to my name for almost dying, saving someone who drowned or was drowning in a retention pond. The Monday leading up to Thanksgiving a year and a half ago, an elderly man passed out behind the wheel, crashed into a retention pond, and it was sinking when I got there. I took off all my gear, jumped in, pulled him out of the vehicle, and held him above water until fire rescue helped get him out of the water. And that is the best thing I've ever done in my entire career.
Oh no, bro, you just won heaven by doing that. You know what I'm saying?
And it's weird though because I don't regard myself other than just a normal human being. But every time I go to visit him, he calls me his guardian angel and his hero, and that it gives me.
He's your friend now?
Yeah, I have no grandparents. They've all passed away since. But he's now my I call him my adoptive grandpa. Yeah. And so I try to visit him as much as I possibly can, and he's always forever thankful when I go to visit him.
Well, you're a hero, brother. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
You know what?
Which is just another secret society branch that exists under the umbrella of Satanism. Which is an extension
That's what I tell people. Southern law enforcement, specifically Florida, we're so much different than the rest of the country. That's why the rest of the country is having problems with what's going on now. And when we're here in Florida, we're like, but we treat everybody pretty dang good for the most part.
Christian
Hello, sir, and ma'am, sir, north you say ma'am, they're like,
they get all offended.
Thomas Paine himself, the writer of Patriot Reasons.
No, I've not been up that
He
far.
did also write this book.
I don't like saying this, but
the origin of Freemasonry.
There's a high percentage of
That
mass
is the spirit behind the Georgia Ghost Hunters, the satanic schism.
I have heard that. I have heard that term.
This approach
It's like in a
provided fertile soil.
pitchy
I told you, the whole system is
no, it's like
I was born and raised at the beach. Maybe that's why I'm so relaxed and laid back. That's just me. I don't like to get worked up. It's just not fun. I don't like stressing and being all angsty and just uptight.
Thinking these people want to help
Or
you.
being rude just to be rude. Like, I don't get it. I'm that person. Like if I'm like,
Forgetting
like if I hold the door for you, I'm just like I'm just being a nice, genuine person, and they look at me like, why are you holding the door? I'm like, because why not? I'm just trying to be nice. What's wrong with that?
Remember that the invisible one considers you profane, vile.
There was a guy the other day I was driving in my area. He had a sign. He stayed in the middle of the intersection, said God is love, and everybody. He's just so happy. I was like, see, that's what we need in this world. More people like this guy. And then people were like yelling at him and screaming, "Get out of the road! God isn't love. I'm an atheist." I'm like, let the man believe what he wants to believe. Like, if he thinks God is love, then let him believe it.
Think about this.
I always say that in my video. I say,
information
want to believe
technology,
that your God is a horse or a monkey? Come to America because you have freedom of religion. You're free to believe whatever you want to believe.
By 2025.
You're free to say whatever you want to say as long as you're not creating violence.
Global engineering director Ray Kurzweil anticipates that robots will have reached human level intelligence by 2025. And by 2050,
hello guys, how are you guys doing? Not in a loud voice, but like, you know, how the teacher talks. You know, so people can
what
listen.
on earth are you and your family good for then? What do you think the secret society will do for the vile multitude?
They're screaming. They're, you know, it's terrible.
The utopia is coming. But it ain't your utopia.
What's everybody doing?
You still think that by the measure of the minds of international Satanism, you should be kept around this excess baggage that the bulk of society has become? No. The new age is dawning.
You have the right to speak.
Generally speaking, you're not invited. It'll just look like you are.
That's what we're trying
Remember
to
that
say.
Charles Darwin, the Freemason, is listed as an influential figure in the Satanic Church. So, mass murder and mass death are natural and necessary things in the name of evolution.
No, because I didn't see disorderly on that. It just came down to the formality of the decision made by my superiors.
Seemingly unrelated to the seal and the newest doctrine of ways, but standing in glory with the Masonic.
Because he's ultimately the one that has to.
Who owns this pyramidal symbol?
I explained it. I had to explain it to 3 different supervisors, and they all came to the consensus that that was what was good. Because they had our lieutenant is away assisting another officer who got hurt earlier today, so they even had to call her and get her approval on it as well. So it went up pretty high, which is why we held you for so long before we did anything, because we wanted to make sure we weren't going to be making a hasty decision.
In plain sight, in your face is where it's hidden. You're gonna lose this battle unless you've been hidden in Jesus Christ, the only one who warned you that the new age is a trap, and that it is the climax to this epic drama being played out on planet Earth. Now hang on, brace yourself. I ain't gonna let you down. This is a magazine called The New Age, but if you press rewind, you can find
just to be courteous to everybody that's inside the facility.
So let me know what you think about this video. Like I said before, this will be the only one where I'm not providing commentary, as I have to follow you.
Look, this is 19th century Freemason and New Age binding.
So let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, and join the video. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
The God of our planet, and that we are in hell. 40 years later, do you think the readers of these magazines are told that? No. Why is the founder darkness is sold by Satan is disguised as him in details. That no one seems to talk about. This Masonic New Age magazine was the precursor to all magazines and trends, promoting the great deception of self-love and spirituality. Meanwhile, you're feeding off the plate that Luciferians serve. That's crazy because look at how the Satanic Bible in 1966 reveals the reality behind and hermetic elements too. Evidence of a new Masonic writer. A new age. How can that be? The new Satanic age. All veganism is all propelled by Freemasonry. On pages Satanism to help destroy Christianity is himself a Freemason. I can't prove it to you, but I know it. Because of not only his obvious fundamental of the fraternity of the Freemasons and the mention of it in his Satanic Bible, and its vital role in Satanic takeover, but also because of the symbols, specifically this one, generally called the Devil's Claw or the Lion's Claw. How did Freemasonry get away with this? Freemason James de Rothschild, the greatest enemy of Devil's Claw or the Lion's Paw, by dressing X Factor's L.A. Reid showing the Devil's Horns, that's the fellow Freemason of religion, carefully cloaked, the secret society sign for the Devil's Number, that's how displaying the Devil's Claw. Over. We can't find out about it because they run the media and the education system. New Age guru Annie Besant, co-writer of John F. Kennedy was brutally assassinated 33rd degree Freemason, also showing the lines for here around the world and here by a monolithic. But the best example I have is with Aerosmith. Did he know that Lucifer was the god of clearly displaying the sign of the master of the second family, the Grand Master of my lodge, and right next to him, the mayor of the city, was a 32nd degree Freemason. That's one short of the top. One short of the true beginning of the secret religion. Secretly showing their allegiance to the symbols. After 42 years in the lodge, yes, Freemason founded the Secret Church because he couldn't see past the Christian's eyes. Now that we know who's really behind the secret age, listen to some of the confessions that was too sensitive to be literature. Once you spread past Freemasonry spirituality and last rainbows, without suspicion, because it's New Age orthodox, feminist and heterodox Christianity, Barbara G. Wilkins, so that there are no rude awakenings that take place because they're not ready to embrace 666 is the magic number of the triple Aphrodite. This is a key. She further complements the number one she calls it Earth, the miraculous number 666. Speaking of New Age to come, PhD Christopher Hyatt writes in Undoing Yourself, as we move closer and closer to the well planned for and long-awaited application of Prime Minister until the very kingdom, the grand international
Yeah, hey Howard.
Yeah.
Very well planned for.
Geoengineeringwatch.org is working directly with the globally recognized environmental agricultural testing institution that we are keeping anonymous for the time being. Graphene nanoparticles are showing up in almost every rain test we take, along with a plethora of other highly toxic elements. The threat posed by this contamination cannot be overstated. Thank you for tuning in to this exchange between myself, representing geoengineeringwatch.org, and a PhD environmental testing scientist that is desperately trying to sound the alarm. We are keeping this scientist anonymous for the moment. We'll call him Joe.
In your circles of academia, I'm not diverging on the subject, but I want to add light to this. Have you not had with specific issues, this being one, almost a complete resistance by your colleagues to even look at credible data? Is that not true?
Oh, yeah, that's totally true, Dane, and I'm glad you brought this up, because I also was going to change the direction here to academia for a little bit, because remind me, we gotta go back to the graphics, because there's a point there that we have to connect. The academia, we talked about this briefly in our first conversation we had on the air a couple months ago, but you know, academia, they will do anything to not look at the truth. I don't know why. I think it comes to training, because when you think about a professor, a PhD, you think as a really, really intelligent, really smart person, and that's not true. And I know my colleagues that hear this will be mad at me for saying this, but the PhD level is just somebody that is very, very capable, highly effective at doing what they are told. Not think on their own, doing what they are told, because that's how a PhD program works. You have an advisor who will tell you what you need to do to get your degree. You do what you're told, you get your degree. You don't do what you're told, then you will struggle throughout your whole program. You might not get your degree, and you might get it. It depends on what you're really fighting against. And now, what happens is, whenever you become a professor and you're working at a university, you have to come up with funding to do your research, to pay salary, to pay your grad students. So you're going to tell them what to do, and they will have to do exactly what you tell. And they will be doing the work that the grant's paying for. Now, to get the grant, you have to go to the government agency. Now, the government agencies are telling you what you can study, what you cannot study. And it links back to what you just talked about, how EPA is hiding what they don't want us to see, and they're only evaluating what they know is not going to show any issue. And it's the same with research. We cannot do the research that we wanted to. Back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, the researchers, they had much more freedom. They were giving money from the government to do whatever they wanted to do. And I think that's why you have people that developed the GMO crops that today are killing us, developed all those pesticides that we are using, developed some good things too, but the majority is there was free money and they could do whatever they wanted to do. Unfortunately, most of their work has been done for bad and not for the benefit of society. And that's how it is today. They shut up all that free money. Now you can only get money to do what the government's telling you can do. So you can only longer go against the government, because once you try to do that, your funding is cut off, and then you don't make tenure, and you become what happened to many other faculty colleagues that try to expose an issue that the government doesn't want to expose. They end up fired, they end up having their name. You really become I don't know, an exile, so you are not really part of the community anymore because you went against whatever the government wanted you to do. Does that make sense?
It does, but to clarify this, that the entire so-called science system, with a few exceptions, has in many ways become a malignant cancer. And we're trained from birth to blindly believe the so-called experts in every arena. Don't question the experts. That's what we're taught. And yet, the experts are simply doing what they're told by their paymasters. And that's the core of this malignant cancer, the money printers. Many people ask who's paying for this. And people who ask that question don't typically know how the entire monetary system works. We have private central bankers printing whatever they want out of thin air, and that controls everything. What most don't know about the monetary system is that we have private central bankers that run it all. They run the matrix. And because these private central bankers can print whatever they want for whatever they want, they own militaries, thus they own countries. So we don't have countries with governments. We have governments that own countries. Indeed, above that, the private bankers who own the governments who own the countries. That's how the system works. That's what most people don't know. So again, we have so-called experts that are willing to do, say, conclude, and publish studies that are whatever they're told to do and publish and say. That's a recipe for near-term self-annihilation, and that's exactly where we're headed. And if we look back at the examples of, again, what's happening on our planet right now, what I would argue, again, mathematically and statistically, the single greatest and most immediate threat we face is what's happening in our skies, because, and that's, I caveat that with short of nuclear cataclysm, but even in that case, we have climate engineering not only ubiquitously contaminating the entire planet, not only disrupting the hydrological cycle, not only it's destroying the ozone layer as well, the protective layers of the atmosphere, and let's weave that into the nuclear cataclysm. Without protective layers in the atmosphere being adequate, we have a large solar flare, a coronal mass ejection, like the Carrington event in the 1800s, and that shuts down grids all over the world. Now we have nuclear plants that can't cool themselves. Now we have Fukushima times 1 or 2 or 300, game over. So even in the case of nuclear cataclysm, climate engineering is connected. So from food production and, again, human health quality, cognitive function, we're breathing materials that are known to affect cognitive function, correct, Joe?
That's correct. Yes.
In the case of aluminum, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, like you said, the academia, I try to bring this issue to academia, some of my colleagues, and they don't talk about it. They don't think it's happening. They don't think anything is being spread. Whenever they see a contrail, they see just as a contrail. They don't think it's jet spraying. and there's nothing you can do. I try to show them some of your materials, and they don't even want to look. They think it's just a big joke. So it's really sad to see the direction that science has taken when so much good could have been done. And to one point, then it's amazing to see that we have the capability of controlling the weather on the planet, but it's disheartening to see that we are using that for the negative applications of this technology. Again, not saying that it's good and it should be done, but it's amazing that we can do it, but we are doing it to kill ourselves.
It is, and again, yes, they can disrupt the weather, and they're good at causing specific disruptions, and through their lens, they would see this as a control of the weather. But in fact, the systems are so complex that they are, in essence, just disrupting the entire system, damaging the entire system irreparably in many cases. And what we have in the regard to the academia, when there's specific data that they don't want the public to know, just like the EPA individuals I mentioned earlier at the Capitol. Again, I've had private closed-door meetings with these people arranged by congressional reps. I've had a private closed-door meeting with Governor Newsom and his top aide. The entire system is designed to mask these threats from the population until we hit the wall at full velocity. The public is pacified into thinking that someone somewhere is looking out for them, and that couldn't be further from the truth, could it, Joe?
No, we could not, and that's very disheartening because that's not what science was developed for. Let's get back to that endocrine disruptor system and pollution of water and all of that. What scientists are now doing, look at this, I don't know if you're aware of this, but this is insanity at its best. They're using graphene oxide to try to bind to those endocrine disrupting particles in water bodies to try to inactivate them. I don't know if you've seen this, but there are papers that have been published on this looking at binding using graphene oxide nanoparticles to bind to peptide molecules in water and then remove them. Now, here's one of the issues. When they look at toxicity, the toxicity was exponentially higher when the nanoparticle graphene oxide was bound to whatever chemical they were trying to remove. So not only they were not successful at that, they made the problem even worse. Now, just think about it, Dan. It's a nanoparticle. How will you treat a stream or river or water that's coming to a treatment plane with a nanoparticle to bind to a peptide molecule, and then you cannot remove any of those out of the water, and then you're going to put that into a water system that is fitting acidic, then everybody will be drinking it. When you are, now you know that that's exponentially more toxic, and the effects on the endocrine system are much higher when you combine those two molecules than when you had just whatever was there before. That brings back what you said, that some of those molecules like aluminum and mercury combined, their toxicity is much higher. It's exponentially higher than the both of them alone. And the same is happening here with some of those other pesticides. Whenever you combine two bad things, the resulting thing is not going to be a miracle, it's going to be a much worse negative thing. And that's what we're seeing with graphene oxide. Now, this to me would say, stop the use of graphene oxide, let's shut this down, because every single study that I'm looking at is showing that graphene oxide is causing a death. For example, there's another study that they look only at the graphene oxide combination with there's a particle that's called compound that's called polyethylene glycol. And they combine that polyethylene glycol with graphene nanoparticles. Now, what they found, you're going to be shocked at this, and what they found is when they use this material, this graphene oxide nanoparticle with polyethylene glycol, now this thing broke the brain-blood barrier. You opened up the pores, and now this compound now can reach the brain. Not positively, not having positive effect, having catastrophic effect,
Absolutely. And this is what we're dealing with is, quote, Frankenscience now across the board. And we have a public, again, that's been trained from birth to blindly believe these so-called experts, is parroted every single day on power structure controlled mainstream media. They're also used for biological carriers. And at geoengineeringwatch.org, we have found the science study advocating for graphene nanoparticles to be used in artificial ice nucleating cloud seeding operations, and indeed you have found graphene in most of the last 100 precipitation tests you took. Does all that connect up? Is that all correct?
It is, and isn't it great that we see all these negative consequences of graphene oxide, and now we are all breathing. Every breath we take, most states are contaminated with graphene oxide. Who knows what it's doing in our system?
On top of everything else.
Complete insanity.
It is. Back to the agricultural production, the crushing of crops, which we are seeing consistently. The weather mayhem in various forms hitting crops at their most critical window of production and growth, whether it's massive hail damage, flash droughts, or flash flooding, immense heat waves. We just had over India, we had a massive high-pressure heat dome that is exactly the signature of ionosphere heater installations like HARP in Alaska. Again, for those that don't know what an ionosphere heater is, this is not speculation. This technology is not disputed. Ionosphere heaters are ground-based radio frequency microwave transmitters that cause an electrical chain reaction in the ionosphere that heat it to immensely high temperatures, pushing the atmosphere up and down. The downward push creates a high-pressure dome, and India just had their wheat crop at the most critical time fried. In fact, India was expecting to have a bumper wheat crop that they said was going to make up for some of the losses in Ukraine. And at that most critical window, their crop was crushed with a high-pressure heat dome. We see this again and again and again, one form or another of weather mayhem, crushing crops on top of all the crop-damaging factors we've already discussed, on top of the fact that the crops that are yielded are far less nutritious, far more toxic. How are we to survive on this planet? And now let's add the fact that climate engineering is the single greatest factor destroying the ozone layer. We're now getting massive amounts of not just UVB in the surface, but we're getting UVC, the DNA damaging spectrum of UV radiation, and we've begun with the former NASA contract engineer that tests for geoengineeringwatch.org with equipment we supplied him. We're showing trace amounts of X-rays from Joe. Let's consider now that on top of everything else we've just mentioned affecting crops, the massive UV bombardment, along with the light scattering particles in the atmosphere, and that's the stated premise of solar radiation management, that has to be affecting the photosynthesis of organisms, does it not? These organisms were never adapted to any of this.
It does, and that's what those particles are doing. They are shifting some of the energy that the plants used to gather to do their photosynthesis, and now it's not there anymore. But you're right on the target, because we are shifting the energy, that is reaching the plant surfaces, the plant leaves, and that will have a negative impact on what the plant can do, because the plant very effective at using the sunlight that was reaching the plant up until 70 years ago or so, whenever they started those crazy operations. But now it has shifted. And yes, maybe what we talked earlier in the conversation, the inability of plants to remove nutrients, to be very much more effective. It's in part due to the shift in the light that is reaching the plant as well. So it's all connected. This operation doesn't negatively impact only one aspect of our life. It negatively impacts everything. There's no reason to think why it wouldn't. Yeah.
Everything we've completely altered. Atmospheric chemistry has been completely altered. And this includes the CO2 part of the equation as well, the adaptation of flora, crops, forests, that we have radically altered atmospheric chemistry. We have extraordinary heating occurring on the planet. We now know from a recent NASA study, which I'm surprised they disclosed, and frankly I'm very surprised. We had the climate science community ignoring this new, most comprehensive data of its type that has completely obliterated the entire premise for solar radiation management, which is to mimic a volcano by putting these light scattering particles into the sky to block some of the sun's incoming thermal energy. We now know from all available paleo data that that can only cause a very short-term cooling effect based on the studies, 1 to 2 years, followed by protracted warming because of the changes in atmospheric chemistry, trapping more heat than it deflects. And that's exactly what we see happening. So on top of everything we've already discussed, that's hampering the planet's life support systems, i.e. the growth of any type of flora, we now have superheating temperatures. It doesn't cool off at night as much. Nighttime low temperatures rising twice as fast as daytime highs. And most don't know that photosynthesis stops at 104 degrees. It tapers off to that point, but it stops at 104 degrees. That's it. So again, from every conceivable direction, the planet's life support systems are crumbling. Then we're completely saturating the atmosphere with literally tens of millions of tons of highly toxic particles. What a circus of insanity. We're not going to be long here on the planet on the current course.
And you know, Dana, one of the other things is it's all due to technology. And it's amazing that technology is problem, and then there was a survey that was done, I think it was in the entire United States, where they were talking to farmers and talking about the issue of herbicide-resistant weeds. And over, I think it was over 70% of the farmers said that they are hopeful that companies will develop new technology that will take care of the herbicide-tolerant weeds. That shows you how I don't want to say unsmart, but how the public is. They don't understand what's happening, how the misuse of technology is what causes the issue. Technology, at least the technology we have on this planet, cannot help us. Not right now.
It can't. And in the rate of change, that is exactly what so many don't understand. You can't just completely alter atmospheric chemistry, temperatures, rainfall patterns, and expect organisms to be able to cope with that. And also, let's tie the soil pH factor into that. When we have pH changes in Northern California of up to 10 to 12 times toward alkaline, from 5.4 and 5.5 in that arena, and I have the USDA historical baselines in my possessions. I have the originals in my possession from a contact at USDA. And now we're seeing 6.5, 6.6, 6.7. Those are, I mean, from an agricultural standpoint, Joe, those are inconceivable changes, are they not? For an organism to, they can't adapt to that on top of everything else we've already talked about. That is a radical change in pH for an organism that's not adapted for it, correct?
It is. And what that does, then, that will shift, like we said before, that will shift the community that is inhabiting that soil. There are some communities that, you know, are more, they thrive better under a higher pH than under a lower pH. However, whatever crop you're growing also is impacted, and when you change the pH by that much, you're really going to damage the crop as well. But the main thing is that your microbial community in the soil, your soil function, is completely disrupted, and you might not be able to have that soil be as productive for I don't know how long it took for that change to happen. But within a decade or two, I would say, if that continues, that soil might not be productive at all. I mean, not saying that we have that long, but let's just ignore that we probably don't have a decade at all. But if this continues within a decade or two, I would say that those soils will be very, very unproductive. Maybe it's not even growing them, because you change the chemistry of the soil, we change what's growing there, and the new microbes that are inhabiting that soil might not be the beneficial microbes that you want to grow crops at all. So you really you really change the entire ecosystem without really knowing how that is going to impact all the life around it. And I think we tend to forget that we are not a species that live on its own, and we're just on a planet, and whatever happens to the planet, we are immune to it. We are one with the planet, and whatever damage we do to the planet, we are doing to ourselves. And the more we keep pushing, the worse it's going to get for us. And I don't understand how people don't see it, So, again, I think another of the issues that we are not addressing is that we have all this endocrine disruption in the water, and we're seeing like aquatic life suffering from it. But we're not really addressing that issue, right? We're not trying to stop them from getting there in the first place, which would be changing our food production system. Instead of growing all this food that is contaminated with all those pesticides, why not go back to the way things were 100 years ago before this chemical warfare started? Why not grow food the best way we can, the most organic way possible, using regenerative agriculture that would not only try to mitigate the issues that we have, and in fact we will have to use this approach if we are to try to survive on this planet, because we're going to have to remediate all the soils that are polluted right now. We're going to have to remediate all of our bodies that have been ingesting all these chemicals for so long, because we are paying the price. Only those that don't want to see are not seeing, because right now it's screaming at us the amount of issues that we have in our society. It's all linked particularly to these two operations, the geoengineering that is going on and the use of pesticides in food production.
Well, Joseph Stalin murdered approximately 20 million
correct,
people.
and I mean, and the contamination is absolutely ubiquitous at this point, and we're, instead of hitting the brakes, as you described, what would rationally be done, the human race is actually hitting the accelerator on every front. And this is important for people to understand. You can't look backward at the path we have come and how long it has taken to get this far into a hole and expect that to continue at the same rate. The equation has already become exponential to a degree that can scarcely be imagined. So again, you can't look backward at a graph and project that forward, because it's like the fuse on a stick of dynamite, that the fuse burns it at a certain pace, but once it hits the dynamite, that's the end. And that's the point we're at, I would argue, right now. And that's what people don't understand. And again, the circus of insanity, when you watch mainstream media and they address virtually nothing that matters in the wider horizon context, i.e., the existential threats that are closing in on us all from every conceivable direction. And when we have the whole climate science community talking about spraying particles in the sky that they say would stay up for 1 to 2 years, that is an absolute, blatant, glaring lie of inconceivable proportion. I work with a polymer chemist that, based on the actual altitudes that we see them dispersing at, which is generally in the troposphere, the polymer chemist that I work with estimated descent times of these highly toxic particles that could be as fast as 12 to 24 hours. That is why they are having to dump so much into the skies, because it doesn't stay up there very long, because they can't carry it as high as they propose to carry it, and they pretend that what's happening is not really geoengineering because it doesn't fit their definition of geoengineering, therefore it can't be happening, even though we see it with our own eyes. And as the atmosphere heats up, and it's heating up radically fast, we are hearing from pilots telling us that their planes, in the case of private Learjets, have been forced into autopilot descents, emergency descents, because the air was so warm, over 40 degrees above where it should be, this is above 40,000 feet, that air was not dense enough to even carry that aircraft. That's how severe our situation is, and that's getting worse by the day, and we in fact are seeing them spray at lower and lower altitudes. Is this why? And that makes the descent times even quicker. That means they have to spray even more to accomplish their objectives. And I want to stress that there is nothing benevolent about climate engineering. It's about power and control. It's about masking the severity of damage already done to the planet, largely from these programs, or in many ways from these programs to begin with, is that not the true definition of insanity? Doing more of what you've been doing to try to cover up the damage of what you did in the first place. I don't know if that even makes sense, but that's what's happening. And so,
it is, Dane. It's insanity at its best. It doesn't make any sense to me to think that anyway the people participating in those activities, Dane, I don't understand how they don't see what's happening negatively and they don't link things together. I think that we have been poisoned to such a degree that majority of the population cannot comprehend what's going on. They cannot connect the dots. It's impossible for them to understand it. There was a report that showed that we are ingesting the equivalent of a credit card plastic every week. Whether you like it or not, you're ingesting those things in the food, in the water, in the air you breathe.
Very, very important point. We have found surfactants in precipitation testing. That's correct. It's surfactants. We found those. We know that to be a part of the climate engineering mix. Surfactants are what makes soap. For those that don't know, surfactants are used in the dispersion of these particles to keep them from coagulating, to keep them from sticking together. So that's why you see foaming rain running off in sometimes gutters and on streets. It's foaming like it's got soap in it. Those are surfactants, part of the climate engineering mix. And two, on the polymer fibers that are now showing up everywhere. And now we know they're showing up in actual precipitation events in Antarctica, most remote places on the planet. And we know that the polymer fibers are named in climate engineering aerosol operations, and so we have the so-called climate science community blaming all of this on the degradation of plastic in the environment, which is a massive problem. I'm not denying that. But the fact that these polymers are showing up in every bit of precipitation everywhere in the world, even the most remote places in the world, match climate engineering patents, why would we think, when these appear to be manufactured particles, not just decomposition, but manufactured particles, of course, we would conclude logically they're coming from climate engineering operations. And yes, we're absorbing an immense amount of this toxin on top of everything else we've already discussed. So, Joe, your assessment as a PhD scientist, based on everything you know, if we remain in the current course, we're not going to be here much longer. Is that not true?
We are not. Even if for a miracle, if we continue doing what we are doing, I think in a few more decades,
these are the people he appreciates.
The human species is going to be unrecognizable. Right, I think the intelligence is going to disappear. I don't think we can be the species we are today in 20 more years if we continue what we are doing. I don't think so.
If we look at trajectories, statistical trajectories of the planet's ability to support life, based on the best data we have, if we remain in this trajectory, because of the feedback mechanisms, of which there may be as many as 50 right now, that's the frozen methane deposits that are thawing and entering the atmosphere, that's the loss of albedo, the ice deposits that normally would reflect sun, now it's absorbing sun. Again, there's about 50 of these types of feedback loops in full swing right now. If we look at those trajectories, based on statistical data right now, and we've already lost 80-90% of our insect populations, plankton down about 70%, wildlife populations down 70+%. We're looking at all this converging in the next few years, temperature-wise, based on what we now know, with all these feedback loops and the exponential equation that we face. We could see as much as an 8 to 12 or 14 C temperature rise in the coming few years. Game over. That's 20 plus degrees Fahrenheit. Game over. That puts us on par with what Venus would be given its proximity to the sun, if not for the runaway greenhouse effect that already happened there. And most don't know that. Most think Venus is 900 degrees on the surface because it's so close to the sun. That's not true. That's not true. All things being equal, Venus, and most don't know that. You know that because you're a PhD scientist. Most don't know that Venus, all things being equal, will be about 20 degrees warmer than Earth. That's it. And we are already, based on frontline data, about 25% across that gap. We're already about a 5 degree Fahrenheit warming from pre-industrial. and that turns into a runaway event, which we're now in. It's called Venus syndrome, and I think that term is self-explanatory, and it's not a metaphor. So I would argue on the current course we have very little time. And on top of that, the power structure is unimaginably desperate. They hold very big cards, and they are already playing them, as we have seen in the last 2+ years with issues that we're not allowed to mention. And I'll let the listener fill in the blank on that. So, Joe, I'll look forward to a future conversation and an update addressing the issues, but we know to summarize all this based on the internationally recognized agricultural research institution that you work for and with, that it appears, based on the amount of tankers that we know that the U.S. military has, and for the record, the U.S. military has 3 times more tankers, aerial dispersion tankers, than all other militaries in the world combined. Think about that. We know they're leasing at least 400 commercial carrier aircraft with commercial markings. That's the Department of Defense leasing those. So many aircraft in the skies, dumping so much materials that, based on calculations that were taken from rain tests and the quantification of that material, it appears tens of millions of tons are being dispersed globally annually.
Blood sacrifice is of the utmost importance.
That's correct. And to be conservative, right? We want to be very conservative here, because we are not measuring the entire planet. Very conservatively, there is.
Takes on a whole new meaning.
I would say that we are.
Real meaning. And guess what?
Just if you look at them, they're not only using aluminum, strontium, barium.
You either fall under the blood of the world,
I suspect that they changed the mix, and I think you've been talking about aluminum so much that they have changed.
Blood is like the
so I think they're using the minimum that they can get by with aluminum, but they are putting other things in the mix. There are other things that we have measured that are even higher than those. So I would say that it's a few hundred million tons of material that is being spread on the planet right now. 200 million tons. Now, I don't know how they can do it, Dane. I don't know how they can do it with the aircraft. Probably combining the entire planet fleet that can be used for this. That's how they do it.
They are, and we know, for listeners that don't know, for example, in the case of a KC-135, a military tanker, that can carry up to 100 tons in one payload. So that's how they do it. With aircraft that can carry inconceivable amounts of material into the sky and flying multiple flights a day, that's how they do it. And the paradox is that all those flights by themselves do immense damage to the atmosphere. And lest I forget, a final point, that we don't know at any given moment what they're dispersing. And we see, as we've discussed off the air, Joe, that in the fall rains happening since 2010, we see what appears to be a defoliant being sprayed, because we see the deciduous trees, leaves on those trees, within a few days of specific rains in the fall, those leaves dry up dead, stone dead, and hang on the trees for very extended periods of time, sometimes all winter long. That if they're in a sheltered location, the wind doesn't blow those dead leaves off. That's not nature. That is not nature. That's not a natural leaf fall. So at any given moment, we don't know what they're spraying on us. Why would we think that there's not biologicals involved in this mix? So bottom line, if we can't breathe without facing this threat, we're in a fight for life. I would argue that that is the absolute case. We're in a fight for life right here, right now. We have to prioritize what's happening in our skies. It's the single biggest hole in the bottom of the boat. It's the threat we cannot hide from anywhere on the planet. We cannot hide from this threat. So the bottom line is, thank you for your courage in standing with us in this battle, Joe, and I'll look forward to future conversations and update. And in the meantime, I'm asking everyone listening to this exchange, please know that we are not helpless in this battle, but it's up to all of us to share credible data from a credible source. Printed materials are extremely helpful. You can find those on the homepage of geoengineeringwatch.org. Please arm yourself with data or share from the homepage of geoengineeringwatch.org. Share links with authors of environmental articles, elected officials, agencies, groups, organizations. Send them a link and a message saying, please tell the truth. Address this issue while we can. We need all the help we can get. Until our next post and a follow-up on this conversation, this is Dane Wigington with geoengineeringwatch.org. And Joe, if you have any final statement, I want to say thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Dan. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and hopefully we can stop this and try to remediate what has happened to the planet. Hopefully we still have time to save at least a little bit.
If we can free the planet from this straitjacket, a toxic straitjacket, and allow the planet to respond on its own to the damage done, I would argue mathematically and statistically that is the greatest leap we can take in the right direction, and that's worth fighting for with every fiber of our being. Thank you again for your time, Joe, and my gratitude to all those listening, every concerned, caring, dedicated activist and individual that's helping us to move this fight forward. This is Dane Wigington with geoengineeringwatch.org.
The Satanic Church hidden in plain sight. Now let's go straight to the source so you can see for yourself the nature of the New Age Saturnian kingdom found in the full quote of the Freemasons' New World Order seal. From this book, which is a factual study of the single most influential occult organization in modern Germany, the Fraternitas Saturni, or the Brotherhood of Saturn.
Thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit
We
of
learn
time
of the path of the Saturnian initiate, which is outlined in detail with the meaning of all 33 grades, 33 degrees of Freemasonry. This is the very same thing, the same objectives. All secret societies work for the same goal because they all have the same spirit. The only difference between Freemasonry and the Saturnian fraternity is that your local Masonic lodges are veiled, camouflaged filtering systems for future Satanists, from which all influential figures of society are chosen, where the real religion begins at the 33rd degree, whereas with orders like the Saturnian Brotherhood, there is no filtering system. As such, you're a student of Satanism from the first degree. That's why Satanism's takeover would have been impossible without international Freemasonry. The Saturnian teachings include sexual mysticism, sex magic, and Nietzschean Thelemism. Nietzsche, remember the guy who says that Christians and the mindset to help the weak makes up the sick animal man? The guy who wrote this book and doesn't believe in good evil. And Thelemism from 33rd degree Freemasonry says that in this book that to initiate the New Age, the whole world must be bathed in blood in a bloody sacrifice before man can accept the law of Thelema. Nietzschean Thelemism. That's what the New Age Saturnian kingdom from which the Freemasons took this phrase from actually looks like. This factual study on the Saturnian Brotherhood is filled with references to Lucifer,
a calendar,
Satan,
and then you book to receive
magic,
the reading that day.
Sex magic.
I don't know.
Blood.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get it figured
sacrifice,
out. I have a lot more time to do all this.
The number 666, as mentioned by Jesus Christ himself, and of course, Freemasonry.
Better for you.
The secret society that all of our politicians and entertainers belong
I
to.
can handle the.
And what's the demonic sigil for Saturn? The Masonic square and compass.
Organized chaos, but I think it's better for business to not do that.
When you see a beautiful sunrise and smell the fresh air, or hear a great song, or see a great movie, are you gonna forget where you really are?
Oh my goodness.
When you hear people using Jesus Christ's holy name as a cuss word, are you gonna forget where this phenomenon really came from and why it's taking place?
Hey Gary.
Now that you've seen how actual and bona fide the reality of 666 is from their own mouths and symbols, let me show you where else it's revealed.
Well, no, I'm not even gonna question.
Do you see these Roman numeral numbers down here?
So before I got on this,
they add up to 1776.
Randomly, that song,
the year that America officially became the country we know of today.
It goes tonight.
And also the year of the birth of another secret society, which was absorbed into Freemasonry after it was banned in 1785.
So we'll set this.
But look, the base numbers. M is 1,000, C is 100, and X is 10.
God did
All you have to do is subtract the base numbers. 1776 minus 1,000.
Okay, I'm done. But I had to get all of that out.
Minus 10.
So,
simply remove the Roman numerals which represent the
about.
base numbers.
Let's see what that's about, because I like that song.
No,
that's
I'm not playing
song,
tricks on you.
Right?
Neither are your eyes. But someone else is. Now that you've seen the prevalence and seriousness of this horrid number, now that you've seen what you've seen, I can show you where else it appears. This figure,
good time.
is represented by the numbers. To make this work, they had to remove the number 1 altogether and separate the 2.
Maybe this weekend, or
of course,
maybe
we'd be
even
too
tonight.
dumb
I
to
don't
pick up
know.
on it.
Maybe sometime soon. There's just this
But
energy
789
of,
minus
like,
456
you have an opportunity.
is this.
You jump on it. You
multiplied
go,
by
and
this
you have
lonesome 2.
such a good time, right?
That's right.
It's like you feel young again.
This dark and mysterious figure is none other than the
feels
long-anticipated
very,
Antichrist, the ruler of the Saturnian kingdom.
So I'm getting one big
which is
energy
on
that's
its way.
coming through, and this is one of my
And Australia has been steeped up to its neck in secret society since the early 1900s.
And on the 4th of
World
July,
Economic
when
Forum
they're all at the
logo,
carnival, right?
with this
Besides
slash
the part
through the
where they get
O's,
sick at the end,
is of
but
course
how they're,
representative
like,
of the number of the ruler of the New Age, 666.
It feels very.
The barcode is the primitive version of the worldwide system that Jesus predicted would revolve around the number of the beast. And as you can see, the base of every single barcode in all the world is 666.
It's not just one night collective. Maybe it's
No matter if the lines are on the ends and in the middle are elongated or not. I found that out from the horse's mouth in an interview with the man who was commissioned by IBM to come up with a new way to automate data collection. There are in fact 3 sixes in the Google logo, which comes from this occult symbol. Coincidence. And he found in a Masonic lodge the square and compass symbol appears in the middle of a hexagram, which is a symbol used in the royal art of
Like, I'm sure it's not going to be like a carnival, like fun every night, right? But I heard the word paradise.
Well, among other things, the hexagram itself can be broken down to quite clearly represent 666.
You know what I mean? Like,
this is a Masonic square and compass designed by the Manaus Masonic Lodge, symbolizing world unity.
Listen, and the fact that
at the top you find the logo of the United Nations.
Kings and Queens, like, I don't.
Well, there are 33 segments in the UN logo,
you know what I mean?
symbolizing
Other
33 degrees of Freemasonry.
Kings and Queens, and it's just.
See this crop circle here with the Masonic eye on top of the pyramid? I know nothing about crop circles and the phenomenon of them, but I know how many rays are coming off the eye. 33. 33 degrees of Freemasonry.
It is changing in such a big way.
Don't forget that the highest authority of Freemasonry already admitted to be the designers of the pyramidal seal in a 1962 edition of their magazine, The New Age. I've shown you how the inverted pentagram makes for the spelling of the word Mason in the same seal. Well, that same pentagram with the elongated top horns appears here in a European Union logo. An inverted satanic pentagram right in front of our eyes. Here's the European Union building architecturally mimicking the Tower of Babel. That was the very same tower that the God of the Bible destroyed thousands of years ago, according to the Bible, when Nimrod, one of the admitted founders of the original craft of Freemasonry, tried to unite the world under one world government. So this logo and this building design is a clear statement to the God who intervened the first attempt at a world government.
What is the collective you know this time?
This is England's Secret Service logo for MI5 with the word intelligence being symbolized by the eye of Lucifer, who was viewed as the most intelligent entity in existence by the secret societies. And this is the symbol for the Information Awareness Office.
Yeah, we
You
got
know
the
exactly who's in
start. I
control.
feel like there's an adventure.
And now you know
I feel
exactly
like
what
your
they want.
life's turning into
they
an
will get it.
adventure. I feel like
In a 1962
you know what I mean?
article written by former US President and
this
Freemason's
energy
wife,
of,
Edith Roosevelt, in the New
things
Hampshire
are just
News.
getting started.
And
You know what I
speaking
mean?
of the
Like, let's
spiritual
get to the
counterpart
good
building for the United Nations,
right? It's like
called the Temple of Understanding,
because I feel like
she writes
we
that
have been going
the
through a
symbolism
really big
planned
shift,
for the building
right?
dates back to
And
the
I feel
black
like
magic
in
practiced
either
by the
a
high
lot of
priests of
aspects of
ancient
our
Egypt,
life or one aspect of
and
our
that the
life,
building will contain
things
a
are
giant
really
eye.
changing for the better. It's like
You don't have to wonder why now,
the work that
because
we've
you know
been
why.
doing is paying off.
This clothing designer
You know
is
what I
fully
mean?
aware that the
And
one-eye
so- and
symbol
we're seeing
is
it in the
synonymous with
physical.
Satan
It had
and
been
hatred
paying off
of
like
Jesus.
mentally, probably, right?
Does this movie poster make any more sense
But
to you
now
now?
it's like, and not to say that you did it for the payoff.
Well, are you
right?
ready for the
did
second
it,
biggest shock of all?
You did it for generational
Whatever you
love,
think of what
right?
you're about to see,
For
please come see me on the other side of this so I can show you something. This clip only goes for a few minutes. Keep in mind, the only reason I'm showing you these two
It's because the writer and director of the preview of this movie-style documentary was murdered,
because the work
along
is
with his
never
wife,
done, right? We're
and
constantly
his little
healing,
daughter,
we're constantly growing, we're constantly
his dog.
learning, right? But it's like you've
All
reached
before the
this stage
production
where it's like,
began.
okay, we're through
The murder
all
was
the
meant to look like a murder
darkest of the
suicide.
nights, right? We're through all
The news of
darkest
which
of
never
the
made
nights, and
national
we
broadcasts,
can
just the local news.
freaking live.
Case closed, nothing to see.
I don't know.
You have to ask yourself why. After so many movies with a dystopian World War totalitarian type theme, why was this movie so dangerous and strictly unacceptable for public viewing? That a whole family would be murdered.
Stay focused, but
Well,
don't be too
this movie was
serious.
going to tell us about
you know what
America's
I mean?
secret destiny.
Like just relax.
One other thing which you'll see
you know
on
what I
the
mean?
side
I
of this
feel like,
clip, an amazing thing. As titled by Manly P. Hall over 100 years ago.
It's sometimes challenging.
What's
to
the secret
relax
destiny
when
of
you're
America?
very much still involved in the
What's
3D
this?
world, and so like you're being encouraged to just let it out. You know what I mean? Let it out. Be yourself. Like, don't be afraid to be yourself. Okay? Because like even in the 3D world, even in the public, in front of all the people, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like some people are struggling with really just being outwardly and open with who they really are, and that's part of the mission, right? That's part of the mission is authenticity here. Morning, Eric. Morning, Juliet. Hey, Jilly. Yeah, even when your voice shakes, that's right. Some of you have really got the attention. I'm being brought back to the other day. I was in a drive-through, and don't judge me. And my kids wanted pizza, so we went through the drive-through, and I pulled up, and every single drive-through person turned. They were all right there. They turned and looked at me, and then like the lady asked what I wanted, and I kind of was like, I'll take, such and such or whatever. And she said, all eyes on you. That was not just for me. Some of you have a lot of attention coming your way. Whether it be in your community, on a platform, in a business. Business owner is just drawn to that. I heard from the ladies. Okay. From the ladies, I don't know who that's for, but and also the men, you know what I mean? Because it says, who's that lady right there? Yeah, the energy is shifting, right? Because it's like as you change within, as you change your opinion of yourself, as you step more into authenticity, this is what attracts your tribe. You know what I mean? Your realness, right? For all the while we've been searching for real family, real,
Who is the identity of this executioner?
Legit, you will see have your back type family. You know what I mean? And is you know what I'm talking about? Soul family, respect, boundaries, equal give and take, you know what I mean? No codependency, no shame, no guilt, no judgment, no projection, no jealousy, no envy, no just fucking real people who are also doing the work and doing well in their life, and so they are not, you know what I mean? You can legitimately both cheer each other on. You know what I mean? Like that. This is what's coming towards you.
Under Freemason Grandmaster.
You have like, I just saw like a switch flip in my mind. Like you have switched a flip.
And its rebirth.
Like you have turned on the magnet collective. You have turned on the magnet, my friend.
Third degree Freemason Harry Truman's
Nice word. That is nice word.
These are men with a radical revolutionary agenda throughout the entire world.
Some of you have been thinking about investing in your money, but you are not sure where to invest potentially.
Against the Most High Lord.
There's something about like reaching out to someone in your area.
When I was in high school, coming
out,
from a completely non-Christian and non-religious family or background, I distinctly remember the first time that I decided that the Bible or the New Testament, to be more precise, was definitely not true.
I don't know, they're not
made
really
up,
giving
fairy
me
tale,
guidance on
whatever.
like what
It was one verse,
might be
one
good.
scripture that to me at the time proved unequivocally that it wasn't written for our time. A prophecy that was impossible to be fulfilled. Here's the verse. And I saw thrones,
We're gonna
and they
let
sat
that
upon
go
them,
and let it come back if
and
it needs
authority to
But
administer
anyway,
justice was given.
maybe
And I
that's
saw the
just
souls of those who had been
You know what I
beheaded
mean?
because of the testimony they bore
If
of
you've been
Jesus.
thinking about investing,
because of the word
take
of
the
God.
steps to do the research. You know what I mean? It's like
No way
maybe
could
you just
guillotines
haven't
be
even looked
introduced as a
into
form
it,
of
and you just
execution in
need
the
to look into it
21st
because
century,
I
right?
feel like,
No way.
yeah, I feel
Proof
like
that the Bible was a prehistoric book written for prehistoric people. And this is long before
information is easy,
he woke me up
you
on a
know,
midnight
once you
highway
start
to
looking
spare
at it,
my
it's
life
super easy.
from a
And I
high-speed
feel like
collision
there's
into a
gonna be,
concrete
like,
wall.
some sort of something
Ladies and
that
gentlemen,
just, like,
in
pops up for you,
2021,
and you're like, that's
like the
perfect.
smartphone
I would love
or the
to invest in
smartwatch,
that.
this
You know what I mean? Like I was
is called the
yeah,
smart guillotine.
that's exactly perfect for me. You know what I mean?
Built
Take
by
your
Chanel.
time. Take
You know,
your
the
time,
perfume,
right?
clothing,
'Cause
and
you
accessories
wanna,
brand for the
like,
rich.
I feel like whatever this
What
is,
on
the one
earth
where
does
you're
a
like, yep,
perfume
that's
company have to
perfect,
do
where
with
it's
chopping
not,
people's
you know,
heads off?
it is a for sure very
I thought I
big
told you
yes,
that
right? There's
all
no
of this is just the
hesitancy
tip
at
of the
all.
iceberg.
You know what I mean? Like you've done your research.
I wonder who really owns Chanel.
Yada yada yada. Do it.
Well,
Do it, 'cause
here's
this
their
is gonna
logo.
be very
And there is an
successful.
eye in the design.
Very successful.
And have you seen their drip design? How odd. Welcome to the real world. You ready? This is from a legislation archive from the Georgia House of Representatives in the 1995-96 sessions.
Which
This
I
is
feel like
Bill
a lot of us have
HB
pretty much
1274
just, like,
on the death
broken them
penalty,
all, right? This is,
guillotine
I mean,
provisions.
Basically, I feel like collective. This reading is
How
to
far
tell you
along
that
are we into
life is
enacting
just now getting
these bills
started.
worldwide? I don't
You
know.
have no idea.
Maybe
Like,
they've
if
been
you've
enacted already.
Doing the work for a while.
But I just wanted to show you
like, the
that in
energy is
1995 the
shifting
ball
so
was
quickly,
already rolling.
That like
Another ball that's rolling
you
are the
have
7
no idea
universal
what's about to
Noahide
start
laws.
for you.
They sound great from the outside, designed so to conceal
Like
some
every
terrifying
moment you're
details
gonna
on the
like
inside.
be like, man, I wish I
Firstly,
could have this moment for
they were
life.
signed
But
into
then the
US
next
law
moment
in
is just as
1991
great.
by George
And it's
H.W.
like,
Bush on March 26.
like,
Here's the bill and resolution.
not
It
to
was
say
named
that
Education
everything
Day.
is always going to be
As you
perfect,
can see in the
right?
details
It's all about your
of
perception.
Resolution
You always gotta
HJ
keep that in
104,
mind.
they
You know
are the
what I
7
mean?
Noahide laws,
It
resolved
can't
by
be
the
perfect.
Senate and House of Representatives
It can't be
of the
perfect,
United States
but
of
the
America
way
in
that things
1996.
just, like, work out,
Every
it's just,
single
like,
president
how humble
since
you
H.W.
are,
Bush has
and
annually
how,
re-signed
like,
this
you were
resolution.
just like, you know what? This is happening
Many
for a
world
reason,
leaders
or
have
I
called
can
for the
get past
acknowledgement
this,
and observance
you know,
of the
like,
7
whatever
Noahide
this
laws,
is just
including the
teaching
President
me, you
of
know,
the
I feel
European
like
Union
a
in
lot
July
of like
2014,
things that we might be
and the
going through
Australian
in just
Governor
like
General
everyday life
Michael
right
Jeffrey
now,
in
like little certain
2008.
mishaps and stuff.
And this will
are
be
just
international law.
preparation. It's just
So what's the problem?
preparation for something.
Well, just for
You know what I
starters,
mean? Say
the
something
law
goes
against
wrong in your
idol
house,
worship will
it's
include, quite
preparation
specifically,
for,
the worship of
you know,
Jesus
or your
Christ as the
apartment,
Son of
it's
God,
preparation for
which the Noahide laws will classify as
right?
blasphemy,
Or if
and
something
the
goes
punishment
wrong with your
for
car,
transgressing the
it's
7 Noahide laws,
for,
and
you
for
know,
blaspheming the ineffable
showing
name
you,
of
and these are
God by
things
calling
that
Jesus
maybe
God,
you've never really had to deal
is
with
decapitation.
before. And so it's like,
I'll let you
know,
take that
all
in for a
new
second.
things, and you're like, oh man, like I have to be an adult right now.
This will be governed by organ private approaching with no possibility of appeals.
It's just never happened.
And you can stay on the path an international left, San Andrew, by denying the who do you think is truly behind these laws? In the form I can show you how right now. Or you can surrender to the truth law by H.W. Bush. Take the right hand here is their signature hidden in plain sight. The hidden hand where that road could lead is displayed by this sinister and gloating looking individual.
So anyways.
Are you still pretending that this one-eye religion of Freemasonry is a secret?
Alright. Here we go.
Who do you think designed the guillotine as the biggest obstacle? This guy over face, Joseph Guillotine. The very thing that could lead you to the prize. It's the very thing that will keep you still don't believe in the prophecy. Reality is international Satanism is still in denial.
It's just preparation.
In the shadow of Christianity, Satanism has always been there. With every church that's sprung up, so that its invisible enemy, the Satanic Church, growing out of sight and out of mind from this to this. And Christianity has long been deprived of its power, as the director was clearly demonstrable by the absolute lack of preaching against the institution of Freemasonry. Satanism's magic cloak, Satanism's magic trick, spiritual Freemasonry. I think of them faithful and how they are laughing for now. So Freemasons are now at the helm of the power structure of society, which means Satan you paid the greatest price to share this with you. And they're making their move for the new order of the ages. Are you that besotted by this evil world that you'll even deny the existence of secret societies? And I saw those. And what about the American president, John Kennedy? Was he just a nut job like me? Not receive his mark of warning us about an international secret society with an international secret plot. Remember this mark in the video? A Freemason trying to tell you and the world about Freemasonry what the mark would be. Shot through the head. Based on the symbology, he knew who would be behind it. I've shown you who they are. Look at the triangular symbol. I've shown you how they successfully operate with degrees of initiations and horrific and illegal oaths of secrecy. Now look at the front cover of the book. And I've shown you why they are a secret society. I've proven it to you. And only now that I've done that, I can show you in this many minutes what the shocking new order that Freemasonry has so cautiously been guiding us towards this absolute slut, which represents the bad. And of course you won't believe that either. Well, by now there's a 98.5% chance that you belong to the world. And in that case, the world can do, will do, and is doing. Soulmate means whatever the hell it wants to do with you or destroy it. And when all you have is the world to bring the you'll do anything to hold on to it to a new and higher. Christian or not, most of you will follow this world straight to the slaughterhouse in the name of peace, safety, and progress. And clinging to it. Because all you love is inside identification, blissfully ignoring people like me, warning you first of whose really chaos must ensue. Men, women, actors, singers, businessmen, and politicians. All interlocked precedes construction, whose God is named Lucifer. It's like having to destroy. You've seen it with your own eyes in order to create, but now you can hear it with your own ears. The same principle. This 33 degree wages in person. That's why I know just in case there's some bullshit creations, a new system must involve the destruction of this one. Now, this is the last reference to work I'm going to use to show you who will be the head of that system. That one will go. A book by David Spangler, considered as one of the founding fathers of the modern New Age. He also has an intimate relationship with the United Nations, shown in 1975 documentaries which unknown to the UN Archives in 2006. So please pause to confirm that where you can find his name listed under the board of directors, sanitary citizens, in his book, Reflections on Christ. Remember, one of the founding fathers of the New Age, and a member. You've been bred from childhood to fall for the biggest lie ever told, that Satan doesn't exist, holds and honors. And if Satan doesn't exist, well then neither does Jesus. It's all about what is required. While your heroes and idols know full well that they do exist, what's required is a new understanding. And when I say you've been bred from childhood, I mean just that Walter Disney was a high-ranking Freemason and went forth as he is a Masonic stamp dedicated to him, and he's very exclusive, Club 33. It is important, which stands for the 33 degrees of Freemasonry, a being, a great, and who's the god of the 33rd degree Freemason, Walt Disney? Walter hides the answer in plain sight, because that's what Freemasons do.
If the person offers a treat to Lucifer,
the God of Mr. Disney is,
and the person says to Lucifer, come in wicked, and I will give to you the treat of my love.
See how they veil in
and I will uplift you in the cloak of innocence of Christ.
What does the word veil itself conceal?
Then Lucifer becomes that being who carries.
Secondly, Walter's God is horny, symbolized by the horn God of the witches experience. And we all know Walt Disney loves mercy for his little witchcraft, the angel of experience. So the depictions of sex are hidden in plain sight.
The Luciferic element becomes the true.
Remember, lust produces
the
life,
angel of light,
not love. So lust is purity, lust is love.
Comes from
the high degree Freemason.
The Christ that he refers to obviously is
He hides the number of his God's name
eventually manifest on earth as one man.
Some of you might.
No, that's not a triple six he's saying interwoven in this design.
To clarify,
that would be ridiculous joking once.
It's like
Not even when they separate the sexes
for
from
all
the
need to take a
all three
Luciferic
of them
initiation
and place them together for you like this in plain sight.
You know what I mean? And there's
That's right.
there's
No,
something that
is the
maybe
same.
is
Not even then,
opposite
people say.
or,
The solar system was the manifestation.
Do you think things are any better 50 years later?
Very great.
He's the eye of Lucifer in the Nickelodeon
Now
channel.
we go back to the secret society of the brother of Saturn.
Remember what they actually believe will be able to take a measure of egocentric power. The Freemason Helena Blavatsky's book,
In this
The
way,
Secret Doctrine, meaning the secret belief. Who is Satan? He is the angel who was proud enough to believe himself God.
Do you see who you're
Brave enough to buy his independence at the price of eternal suffering and torture.
The rich, powerful,
Beautiful enough to have adored himself in full divine light.
Those who are steering society.
Strong enough
and they're
to
about to
still
reach the
reign in
destination.
darkness amidst
Who
agony.
showed you? Who told you?
Helena Blavatsky is suggested as recommended reading by the encyclopedic Christians
But I just
in the animation flushed away. Grand Pontiff, Universal Freemasons, speaking of Lucifer, Satan, and the devil, on page 407,
a new species,
writes that to the
no one is
initiate,
aware except
the devil is the instrument of
briefly seen in the
liberty.
beginning of free will. He's a Christian rat.
That's who Lucifer is to them, carrying a plaque, some real-life Christian. To show you how little you know of him,
The impending doom
and the extent of this religion's influence.
What's the twist?
It's hidden in plain sight, no one to see. Let me jump ahead for
villain
you.
Toad.
There's this
Watch this.
new
New age. This is Lucius Trust. The Lucius Trust is a non-for-profit service organization incorporated in the United States in 1982, and their objective from Lucius Trust websites dedicated to the establishment of a new and better way of life for everyone in the world, so thoroughly based on the fulfillment of the divine plan for humanity.
Yes, the nutshell Christian.
The divine plan. A new way of
Remember
life.
one last thing before I
Like
close.
a new world system,
New Age author,
like a new order.
who spoke of the well planned for and
Now you want to see who they work for?
of the Prime
The
Minister.
Lucius Trust has consultative status with the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. The United Nations, the UN, they consult the United Nations of the world. They advise the United Nations of the world. Now look at this. The Lucius Trust publishing company was founded in the early 1920s as Lucifer Publishing Company.
The gospel
The
tells
Lucius
us
Trust
so
says
accurately
the name is
enemy
probably
US
chosen
is
to
not made
honor
of flesh and blood,
Lucifer.
but it is made of spiritual forces. Of
What
evil
on
in
earth
heavenly
does a
realms.
modern day consultant
That's
to
where
the
the
most
real war
powerful
is being
and
waged
progressive force
in the spirit.
engaged in
Yeah,
uniting
now
all
know
nations under one
what
banner,
secret
the
societies
UN,
This
and
last
have to do with the fallen angel of
We
the
can
Holy
rest
Bible?
assured that that statement from the
The
Gospels
one that
is
Jesus
true.
Christ told us would manifest on earth
That's
as
why
a
the
world
common
ruler
denominator between all
to
of the
deceive the
secret
whole world
societies is
into a
the
new
anti-Christian
world
sentiment.
system. Yes, that
You have to
angel.
ask yourself why.
Why on
the
earth would they
negative
honor
obsession
that
with
angel?
Christianity?
Let me just say that
It's not as if
it's
Christians run the
not-
game.
It doesn't feel
They
like
were founded by Bibles from schools.
They teach evolution as a fact.
Incorporated into the United
Pornography
States
is
by
thrown
Alice
out.
Bailey and her
There are no
husband
Christian
Foster.
protesters left.
Here's a
Homosexuality
book by
is
Foster the
rampant.
Freemason,
Protected
The Spirit of
Christianity is
Freemasonry,
buckled.
published by Lucius
Which church
Press,
preaches against
also known as
Freemasonry?
Lucifer
Which
Publishing.
church is telling you about
One last
Satan?
thing, and if you dig a little,
which is permeated
you'll find an article on their website. The esoteric
why do they
meaning
hate
of
Jesus?
Lucifer.
If they're at the
On a
top of their
modern
game.
company
Right.
website
Because
with
Jesus Christ
consultative
is real.
powers to
That's
the United
why.
Nations of all things.
And he left us.
Wow.
Left us.
I really hope you're
that
seeing
they can't
this.
escape.
In the article it states the
The more
Baileys
they
had
win,
enormous
the more
respect
they
for
fall
H.P.
into the hands
Blavatsky,
of the
who
prophecies
stated
of Jesus
in her
Christ.
renowned occult book,
What
The
a
Secret
blessing for
Doctrine,
you.
on page
Those who grasp this
245,
as truth.
in a chapter called
What
Holy
good use for you?
Satan.
And what a
It
terrifying
is Satan
conundrum for
who is the God of our planet, and the
Now you've
only
come this
God.
far.
and you still don't care? Then the article goes on to say that the Baileys sought to elicit a deeper understanding of the sacrifice made by Lucifer. Because everything has been reversed. All of it. Evil is good, Jesus is the enemy, and Lucifer sacrificed himself for you, not Jesus Christ, the one who washed the feet of his disciples, and the only one they fear. Modern progressive atheists do not influence or convince people. Satanists do. All of it. Remember the goal of the Lucifer Trust? The fulfillment of the divine plan for humanity. The divine plan exposed by Jesus Christ in the Gospels. Hence their war on the Bible and the abolition of it from the school system, and even from modern Christian churches who dare not preach from the book of Revelation. Now watch the almost entirely evolved and contemporary leaders of society secretly believe their heart in the theosophical perspective. The descent of these solar angels was not a fall into sin or disgrace, but rather an act of great sacrifice that gave birth to Jesus God. They believe in fallen angels and their revolt against God, as revealed in the Bible, led by the devil, the chief commander. You're up against Freemason Bob Dylan, remember? These people make contact with these fallen angels, with the royal art of Freemasonry called witchcraft. Please stick around, let me show you that. Nothing. How many solar angels does the Bible say followed Lucifer out of this heavenly realm was rejected, has become the cornerstone. Everyone who falls on that stone will be dashed to pieces. Anyone on whom it falls will be crushed.
But remember that
every Masonic lodge is built so that a third of the angels makes 33%. Who are these men? Does that know their backstory yet? Facing the 33 degrees of Freemasonry. It is detestable. Just a coincidence? Freemasonry does the Gospels again, secret with their hidden, which expose these people a trumpet over the hand that does good. Do not let anyone who delights in false humility to the needy and the worship of angels, the left hand know what, and who has access to some visionary world, beguile you, must be secret. And your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. You still don't believe that the false humility of the charitable you can't become a Mason if you're broke, blind, maimed, or have a criminal record. Blavatsky also published a magazine called When You Give a Banquet, invite the poor, with a woman named the crippled, Annie Besant, the lame, the blind. And here's a letter written by Annie herself. Freemasonry takes Masonic rituals, and is hungry. Annie signs off as a 33rd degree Freemason. Their destiny is destruction. Also on the left-hand corner, they make appetite their guide. They take pride and a member of the Supreme Council. Their minds are set on you. Undeniable and undisputable. Please don't make me prove to you over and over. Is the darkness visible? Have you caught a glimpse of who you're dealing with? Those who call evil good and good evil. They're all Freemasons, high-ranking. And Jesus and they're all, if therefore buffeted by a plethora of Masonic Jews who don't know any of this, because they can't decipher the symbols and they don't care to try. They're proud and boastful and defensive above their beloved fraternity, in which they get to rub shoulders with the most important people of the suburbs, cities and towns. And in which they got on their knees and take blood oaths of death, calling other old decrepitated men who worshipful master, yet still they think it's innocent and has nothing to hide. Delusional and lost, almost beyond hope. Can end on this one. Some of them still think it's a Christian organization in the lodge room, just like the founder of the Satanic Church described. What do you get when you carefully conceal Satanism with Christianity? You get Freemasonry. Signals with his feet and teaches people Satanism is at the core of our world, and it is behind the new order that will be implemented soon enough. Disaster will overtake him. It will be all done through deception. You'll be tricked. Remember how I told you to be all-seeing eyes sees that we're in hell? Well, the massive witch in Freemason Helena says so right here. Baptism of the Holy Satan is the minister of God, Lord of the Satan nations, go about the corrupt mouth. As the angels of the manifest world, they do provoke Hades means hell. Manifest worlds means earth. They most certainly signal with their feet. This is who you're dealing with. Hands and fingers. This is the religion and the beliefs of the rich, and they do famous evil. And yes, politicians further their goal of the new age. When you go back to sleep, the greatest conflict after this. Wait till I show you what they're going to do to you. The verse coming up tells us that disaster will overtake them, and they will be destroyed. For those who simply refuse to believe that Bono or Scott Morrison or Prince the only thing can count on in this world because they all go to church is the Son of God. Let me show you another Masonic ritual they do. And this is before Satanism or Luciferianism is revealed to the candidate. And then you tell me if Bono or Scott are capable of secretly believing in Lucifer. This is the last shock. It all starts here with the Masonic apron. Different kinds signifying different grades. Have you guessed what's hiding it? The genitals. It's pretty obvious. Like everything else they hide, once you can see. The genitals are the true working tools of a Mason. Freemasonry is foundationally a sex cult, like Satanism, because it all starts with sex, doesn't it? Life itself starts with sex. So the mystical force of the true God, so-called Satan, Freemasonry, hides in the hidden part of the human body. In little local Holy of Holies, covered by silly teenagers rebelling against God. The seeds living in their own la-la land with their own see he was Satan making Don's artworks. The eye is attached to the whole God. But look at where the eye starts. That Lucifer is God. Waist down, run the world. That's where the apron of a Mason begins. They are dedicated to the Freemasonry is also the one eye. They're highly sophisticated, where life generates movies, brings they star in the movies. They write the the openly hidden secrets of the Masonic square and cults are worshipped as idols. You're looking at the sex act. They live large. That's the female their missionary position. And that's the male mounting her. Sex magic, the sex act, and blood sacrifice. And the eye in the middle, with these emanating rays, is the orgasm and the ejaculation of the penis. See, life shooting forth is real and has been since before civilization. That's how they see the sun and the earth, hidden from the sun is the visible penis of the true God, shooting forth life propaganda to the point the light itself is the mystical sperm of the God of this world. And who waged a war on which the sun and penis generate life, while the earth and female womb produce life. The letter G, replacing the I in the middle of the square and compass, stands for generation, sexual generation. Atheists would. The practical aspect of Freemasonry, if Jesus wasn't real, Satanism, Luciferianism would be passionate that of a sex cult. One of keeping their existence hidden. See, Rod Stewart is telling you he's a Freemason. Lo and behold, this is the hidden Freemasonry, also known as the master of the second veil. Jesus was a myth, and look at his eyes. Luciferians are taking his other time his place, covering his penis, which is the Holy of Holies, the seat of God, the Mason. What part of from the grand concept of Freemasonry outward hence a significance and a worldwide religion do you not get of its inoffensive substitute? If Jesus was obelisk, why do former straight from the horse's mouth? The erect penis graces us, or should I say just graces us. They have that power in every country in the world. How is that possible? Marking its territory. The Masonic obelisk in our face, everywhere, in order to making its bold statement, then yelling, screaming, silent in the scriptures. This is another reason why we're considered ignorant and stupid masses. Why did they include instructions to obey the priest? Hidden in plain sight. There's no priests in the New Testament. And except for God, here's the erect penis on his front page of the female Freemasonry magazine, The Eastern Star. If the Gospels were an invention, I once stood in front of this obelisk in Sydney and I asked around 30 people what they thought it was. Not a single one. Yet every priest holds a title father to the Freemasons of the higher degrees. The Holy Gospels were an invention of the Caveman Church to control people. Why were unstructured Freemasons allowed to own this path at the top or this path and not the common people? Why did they burn William Tyndale at the stake, a Christian scholar who translated the Bible to what's found behind the Masonic apron? Because that's where life comes from. Please help me understand how you don't believe in Jesus when even you have to be a 32nd degree Freemason to be asked to join stupid for not believing in Satan. Once you're inside, there was the first shock. Be invited to join this order, the international royal order society just and that's a Freemasonry like Russian dolls, Satanism. They're members of it. That was the first shock. Look at some of the pens. The second shock was the oaths they take and the rituals they jesters. You can only join them unless your brains exposed to the second sun, drinking wine from human beings' skulls, all done by the people you respect the most. Sex and pretty shocking if you have any brains left in your skull and heart in your ribcage. The third shock was the reason they took the oaths and performed the rituals, and that reason is that the secret society they all belong to is in fact Satanism, demons. The fourth shock was the details of fallen angels and the details of the new satanic age, the Saturnian kingdom, where billions are planned for death to pave the way for a spiritual and technological utopia. Mock the Bible. But do you know what the biggest shock of all is? King Momus sitting on a female's face. The shock that surpasses all of them combined. In plain sight is it's Jesus. Jesus is the shock. He is the shockwave. The reality and truth, bestiality. Because that changes everything.
This bagpipe player
Changes everything. The greatest news you could never think of, that God left his abode to come here, a form of hell,
This one, this character is an emphasized eye.
to be ridiculed and executed to save our sorry asses by taking a bullet for us. Don't worry, his second coming won't be so sacrificial. Better start fearing like you fear a cop and like you fear a judge. Oh, I know you tremble in front of them. But you don't fear God?
Monkey covers his
Oh, how we love the darkness and sin. You love gossip, you love sex and porn, you love sodomy, you couldn't sexualized male and female cussing. You loved your idols, singers, actors, sports people, sports teams, putting people who fart, smell, and eventually die on a pedestal. You just couldn't cut yourself off from the ways of the world.
The foundation of the whole fraternity.
Purity?
As alluded to.
Who wants to be pure?
Genuine.
I have to be pure.
Loyal order.
I have to live holy. Stop sinning? That's so boring.
This is a certificate.
What kind of God is this?
This is just a receipt.
To hell with that guy.
After his initiation,
Well,
you see here their patron is
do
named
you
King
like
Marts.
filth in your home?
And he
Do
was
Do you like filth on your carpet? On your clothes?
Demon.
On your face?
variant.
Do you invite filthy guests over and give them a share in all your belongings and all your power? Do you give them the keys to your house or car? No, you don't. But the Creator, who has the greatest house of all, he should. We can nearly earn $1,000 a week.
Well, no, they didn't.
And we don't give that away to anyone. But now God shared his wealth with you, the unclean,
I'm sorry about the quality
the
of this,
unrepentant.
This is a Masonic lodge.
Is it too much
So
to
for
ask
Masons that want to
your
say
filthy
that the
guests to
justice
clean up
are
before they
contrary to
enter?
Masonry,
To watch their mouths, to control their willy? Is that too much to ask?
look at these dirty old men.
No, but if God was real,
Masters
what about
of
all the
the
children
lodge.
that died?
With sublime morals.
What are you doing about it?
All married.
Are you still stuck on which phone
Probably
you're
all
going to
have
upgrade
daughters
to or
and
what's for
granddaughters.
dinner?
Yet still,
Why don't you leave your abode, your luxuries, and your love life and risk it all to go
you
save
should
some
be
shit with
obvious.
yourself?
Because you
Oh,
can
but
see
what
the
about
square
all
and
those
compass,
who have murdered you,
sex act, and all
Let me
seeing
ask
eye.
you, what's your excuse?
Right in the middle.
I know they have one, but what's yours?
I told you
You've heard of it.
Satanism was the oldest religion in the
Every
world.
morning you wake up and look at the calendar is a testament of sex act because it's 2021 in Australia.
Organised as a
It's
religion.
2021 in Brazil before we call it.
It's
It's 2021 in China.
But Satan is always
It's
in the God,
2021
the
in every
God,
single country in the world. So let me ask you,
sex cults.
2021
All of
years
them. From Syria to Egypt to Greece and so on.
That's called
That's
like
what
paganism. And the
Just
real Bible
waking
up in the morning and knowing what day it is a
the
testament
one
to
not written
him.
by hand,
The one that's older than any book. But if God was the one that supersedes all the rest of change, thus making it purest and most unadulterated word of God, you can't even get on your knees and repent. It's nature. You can't even hate nature and scream out to him. So what would you think there's nothing wrong with that? How do I get the girl if I don't ask her out? Because you're not thinking straight. And if I do, maybe she rejects me the first time and the second.
first degree,
How bad do I want her? How hard do I trust her? The universal go-to answer is this: a peculiar system of morality. I just kept knocking and knocking, and then I started banging and banging. I refused. Now, why would you need to invade him like a hungry puppy? Because in their peculiar but even when he answered, evil is good. I did the runner. That's Satanism, too big for me. And I loved sin. A peculiar system of morals left alone. That should tell you something. That should tell you everything. But here's the craziest part. Why would your morals people who ask me why he doesn't? Because their deeds and the way they're knocking to. Glorifying the laws of nature where cruelty and self-obsession that even are virtuous in characteristics. That's nature being their wholesome. Nature is as cruel as she is kind. The checkered floorboard. Where my things evil happen. It's Christianity. That was a crazy day. That was first shall be last. Love your enemies. The meek shall inherit the earth. These are unholy and unnatural concepts in the eyes of visible nature. What other gods? The nature of Freemasonry. Did Buddha propose Satan for you? Did he what the Freemasons really mean by this morality veil? Were his followers stoned to death, sawing that they're allowed to alive? Because if historians of his era leave any trace they're allowed to kill. Did he prophesy all the kingdoms that would appear on earth? They're allowed to commit adultery. Did he foretell a worldwide floods of enemies that were just allowed to lie? Followers indulge all their God-given senses, especially to set up a world kingdom's nature. Did his appearance change the calendar from one under oath to the other? Jesus said that narrow is the road that leads to life, and broad is the road that leads to destruction. What did the Prophet Muhammad in the 16th century says? Apart no true Jesus and millions of people, and his lodge is to divide dedicate your entire life to sinlessness. Because he remained celibate so that his blood could make a difference of nature in the heat realm. Glorified those laws of sacrifice. Christianity breaks those secret every day in order to become supernatural. Because only then he didn't love your enemy. He has, so it goes. Christianity is despised by Freemasons, and he lived the real Freemasons. Because their Bible is nature, and by nature they know the personality traits of their god Satan, and washed because he's the god of this world, while just as the Freemasons, the enemies of mankind, and still enemies. And just like Jesus, and that's not even bother with the other pagan gods. So they believe that Jesus is Odin because he denies human nature, inventions of fertility, culture, worship the sun, observable nature, genitals, death, that's what guides them, Masons, atheists, and the Masons. Did anyone else apart from Jesus Christ? That's why they call the free, I am the truth. Believe you me, because they're free from moral obligations, free from sin. I know the true guilt. I have the truth from Jesus Christ. I am the truth. These people are introducing this new system of the world. This new age is truth itself. You're going to miss Christianity when it's gone. As a man, mark my words. Because you have no rights in the eyes of nature, which is the Bible of Freemasonry. Where are all the heart-wrenching smooth that will become a most marvelous power of this Holy Spirit? Please, I can you read one of what's feet and around you in its skies, very changing forever. Where are you? I'll tell you where they are. In the Christian common cause to celebrate follows. Oh yeah, you get here and there, you will shine light. The Christian side of it simply outfits the rest of them. Coming together. Where are all the life changes of inside Hindu customs? You will be my son again. Lord, I wish you would have put you on the street of pain. My good lips, shattered truth for all to be known. Because the sons and so unfortunately understand much. We're made so as a catapult to you. And as a remembrance of the conclusion to this presentation, which is heard of one another. Satanic, what is it? Have you ever heard of one of those? Breaking my oath. Freemason on his knees and sobbing for joy for the so overwhelmed numbers, lost in the illusion that the secret society has constructed around us every side of the universe, and seeing as they go simply, this video is called Inside Countercults. No, I don't think anything of a culture, but if they do, and the TV shows that I am not their Jesus science, they are the priests Jesus cults. You atheists think you don't believe in the retaining of that. Think about daily rituals and Scott Martin Satan's. Even the beliefs require they use a ritual. Scott is teaching because his evolution is God. Age of the earth, no proof, one distance of the sun is all faith-based. On what force, what's you can see the goods of Saturn with the telescope, but you can't see it as nothing happens. That was left behind it's the truth, because you have faith. Don't you worry, no matter who you are, you live in God's world, because life is religion. And if you're still in there, I'm not really sure the description of you all worship something somewhat malicious. They were white apes inside, blood red, blind and bearded, black, but the one who every other eye, bloody arm, or granddad even has on the head, bloody arm. How can you do it doesn't destroy what you have? Now this is why there's an illustration of the Savior's Hospital. You can't distinguish the poison is not in the whole body. You say so your intuition that means 99% of the poison is truly going to water and that's the story. Or because the flash is like God in the head, mind and body. The whole glass is the master of semantic terms, and so is the computer psychonaut. You better believe it. Head. Does anyone go out with a stain on their face? Yes. This post, this rock star, this pop star, just one lie, next single lie, this actress, and this beloved. So you can't go where life is. This is what they've done. All of them are hands down. Now, in case someone thinks I'm trying to follow the LPs, tell me this. I used to be. You need to belong. I used to be. And believe me, when you belong to them, I used to be drunken. You tell me smoke all kinds of work against people and have living those use a filthy mouth, indulge in the stretchy human carrying around the swearing like a tank all the time. Because nothing you ever reveal anything in the stretch is that you think you are all in for the ones. That's the stretch. Look at the one who sits at 3 months. Can you now see the bloody scent lurking behind the veneer of charity, the veneer of Christianity, Midnight Highway? Because Scott Morrison goes to church. The Pope is a Christian. Only meters between me and a concrete wall. I had it in the circle of Christians, gathered around a giant erect palace, so up in Tennessee. The demolition of morals, the creation of hypocrisy, and the demolition of true virtue. These minds are the future. Now, to be fair, I don't have these heads or legal heads. I never got that fucking on down. But I will tell you this. All the skulls they all the skeletons there, all the instructions, they're real. And bury itself paper in their heart, where it will take on power.
But yeah, it's like some of you have this quality of life, which is great, and you just need to keep doing what it is that you love, like actually thinking about alcohol, like all that. And some of you are just like, no, this I will try to do, not all the time,